All right. It's still funny seeing you guys in the green room, Nick dancing like an idiot. It's classic. I love it. All right, guys. Normally, like I said, you guys usually see Dale's face here, but he's doing his fatherly duties. He will be joining us. Don't worry. There will be some Dale tonight, not just all me and the boys. Dale will be joining us after he's done with his fatherly duties. But let's go ahead. We got three cool dudes. Let's go with the first guy, and actually probably the only good dude here uh, is this guy right here. Look at that. There's Russell Martin. Russell Martin. William Russell. Sorry.
Yeah, you may not want to mix my name up with that name.
Here we go. Then we got Greg. And last but not least, we got Mr.
Hey, real.
Sapienza.
How you doing?
All right, look at that. We got a bunch of
Ah,
guys. Look at that. One's
cheers.
drinking,
Cheers.
one likes to
Cheers.
draw, and the other one likes to get tired.
I like
Well,
to
we're-
draw too. I'm just not
yeah.
good at it.
Yeah, well, we're not as good as Russell.
No, sir.
So William Russell, if you guys do not know who he is, I don't know what the hell you're doing. The guy's all over Facebook. He draws like a demon. One of the I didn't really I finally got to meet Russell last year at the Fan Expo in Denver, and I got to see his pieces up close. And I was like, "Oh, you drew that? Oh, you drew that?" And he's some good shit. This guy, so you should go check this guy out. He not only that, but he has this really hot book called Psycho Sal, which is it's if you like horror, it's right up your alley. If you like psycho killers, he's right up your alley. He's a good writer, and he draws it, and he has a couple. Oh, you don't write? You write it too, right? I thought you were one of the writers.
No, I write out my notes and everything for what I
Ah.
think to happen in the book. So I give them the overview, prelim, however you want to word it, for what needs to take place in the book, and then I give all those notes to my writer, and I let them do the magic.
Well, it's
JC.
either way, man. Some good stuff.
Thank you.
So while we do this, I basically already kind of give Russell's introduction, but we're gonna go around the horn here, and I'm gonna have one of you guys each introduce who you are, where to find you, and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and start with you, Russell. Why not?
William Russell, I'm a cover artist. I've been doing it now for 5 years. I've got over 100 published covers in that time frame. Everything from retailer exclusives for Image Comics, Dynamite, tons of indie projects, titles like Department of Truth, Haha, Ice Cream Man, Stray Dogs, Vampirella, things like that. I also have, as you mentioned, my own creator-owned comics, Psycho Sal, which is about a serial killer in New Orleans in the 1980s. We have just wrapped up issue number 6 on Kickstarter, and that goes to print in about another week or so. And we're already writing issue number 7. We have one of the fastest producing indie books on the market right now.
Now I'll say it again. If you like that type of sort of, how would you describe it, Russell? Like, is it like a psychological thriller? No pun intended, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a psychological thriller. I'm a huge horror fan. I mean, obviously, but I wanted to go back to a little bit more of classic horror movie storytelling in general. Everything these days tends to be kind of in your face, as much gore as they can throw at you, things like that. So we kind of went back to a little bit more of the suspense and the thriller of the writing, and, having a little bit more of, certain things happening off screen, so to speak. So your own imagination kind of fills those gaps. But we actually approached the writing on this book a little different than what's been done in the past. And that is in the sense of the perspective changes. There we go. That's issue number 2 right there. Yep. So issues 1 through 3 were written by Chris Hayes, incredibly talented horror writer. And that whole 3 issues is written from the perspective of the lead FBI agent working the murders. But when we get to issue 4, 5, and 6, we change the perspective. And I brought on Lori Calcaterra, who's another incredibly talented writer, to write the female perspective of that story, or that part of the story, because it's the same storyline that's happening. And that's all being told from the victim's perspective. And then when we get to 7 through 10, we'll change the perspective again. And now you're seeing and experiencing everything through the eyes of the killer himself.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get into, we're going to get more into that, because the possibilities of a book like this is endless. But next, let's talk about that Greg Ha guy, the guy who just sits there and looks like he's made out of stone, but he's not. He has a personality of a god. So tell me, Greg, what's going on?
Yeah, so I'm Greg Ha. I'm first a collector, seller, buyer of all things comic related. I do a lot of video game stuff too, and then I have a funny little YouTube channel that I like to make videos on, kind of different things here and there. Nothing specific, just everything related to the hobby of video games and comic books.
And I like collectibles, right? You could find this guy's I Like Collectibles on Instagram, Facebook. This guy's all over the place. I mean, if you're looking for some old games, talk about nostalgia. We're going to talk about that today. If you want some like old NES, Sega, Coleco, whatever bullshit stuff you used to play when you were a kid, yeah, go look for this guy, and he'll find that game for you.
They got that too.
All right. Next, we got the drinker here. There he goes, Mr. Sapienza.
Just tonight. Don't call me the drinker. That gives people a
as if
preconceived notion
that's all you
about
do all day.
What I might be.
No. He's enjoyed a nice beverage, because that's what we do here sometimes.
I need to get loose for this.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty reserved guy once I'm on camera.
So tell people about you there, Nick.
Well, I'm what you call some guy.
Yeah, that is true.
That's about the end of it.
That's about true. No, but come on. You have
all right.
you have
First and foremost, I mean, I know that's not really how you guys know me, but you know me. I have a what is now, I guess, a pretty large automotive repair facility in West Palm Beach, Florida. Realistic Auto Repair. I'm sure you guys all might know that. Got my own comic book too. Whatever. Buy, sell, trade comic books, and don't read them, but I love to collect them. Collector first. I think that collecting comics is therapy for me. I think that's kind of how it started, and that's why I'm what you call a completist. I like to complete runs, and it feels really nice, and it helps my brain and life stay better organized. And with that, I kind of fell in love with the industry end of it. I love to go to cons. I love artists. I love artwork. I love to support the art end of it more than anything other than collecting. And I like to get involved in everything. I like old books. I like new books. I like variants. I like new stories, old stories. I like the movies. I like everything. Everything about comic books is fantastic. And I believe you should collect what you want, read what you want. Don't read. You don't read. You get it. But look at all these fantastic books behind you. So there's something in it for everybody.
I gotta tell you, I don't trust people who don't read books.
It's hard not to trust.
Bunch of D-bags. What a bunch of douchebags. I'm like the poster child for the douchebag who doesn't read. But you guys already know that by now.
You were a douchebag long before you didn't read.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Yes, douchebag circa 1972. So going back to Psycho Sal. So. I think I told Russell the first time I started talking about this whole Psycho Sal thing. Psycho Sal is one of those indie books. The reason why we always talk about the reason why so many indie books you see out there become movies and TV shows is because the storylines that they create are fantastic. So whenever you read a book or any indie book, you go, you know what? I could actually see a Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, name your price, a feature film of that book, because there's
100%.
a reason why indie books are very popular. But as we all know, people love to go to the big two, Marvel and DC, and then they keep complaining about how stale these movies are. The storylines are getting very weak and what have you. And then if you go and turn your attention to something like Psycho Sal, one of the indie books, and read it and go, this is pretty damn good. I could actually envision this becoming a TV show.
Absolutely.
And if you guys, and I will be the first, and I haven't read it. I have his book. It's sitting right there. But the premise of it reads like a TV show, 100%. And I noticed, Russell, there was someone, I don't know if it was you or someone was saying, if they were to cast your book, right, who would they use? Who would they be? That's always fun. It reminds me of those pages of Wizard. Remember back in the Wizard magazines when they would do casting calls. I have a stack of those Wizards, and sometimes I go back. I'm like, boy, were you guys wrong? Right?
You opened the Wizards?
Some of them, they were dead.
Yes, they're already open, you son of a bitch. But I
pretty pictures. You saw pretty pictures.
Yeah, some of them were actually pretty damn accurate, though.
Right at the time.
And I mean, I definitely agree with that because right now, production houses, they're not shopping Marvel and DC. Mm-hmm. Marvel and DC has their own, movie departments and things like that. So, what's up, Andrew? What's up, everybody? So, they're definitely looking at indie. And one of the things when I went to Chris and I told him my idea for this book, one of my main things is, I wanted to create something that was a bit more involved for the viewers than just sitting on, third row watching it from a distance. So that's where the perspective changes came in, and the way we wrote the book, the way the actual movement of the storyline inside it. It starts out at 50 miles an hour from like the first page of the first book. And then that pressure just slowly keeps rising through every single issue. There is no, a lot of storytellings will use a bit of this up and down. And that's not the way we're doing on Psycho Sal. We want it to be that kind of, like I said, when you sit down and watch those, TV shows like House, The Haunting of Hill House, or, TV shows like that, where it just kind of starts out at 90 miles an hour and then the pressure just keeps building. And that's what we've done with Psycho Sal. And so far, everyone's absolutely had a blast with it. In that, the way it's written, though, like in that scenario, it definitely lends to that ability to be turned into, a possible TV show. And you never know, because they're definitely scrambling for stuff right now.
It's very cool. So this is number one, right?
Yeah.
So people love or people do not love horror. And I wouldn't consider this a horror, right? This is more like psychological. Yeah. It's a psychological thriller.
Definitely more psychological thriller, but it's horror. It is horror. It's about creating mood, creating suspense. It's about creating that dread and that fear. I've got people now that have read that book and they jokingly told me that, like, when they leave certain places, they look in the back seat of their car now. So,
and not only that, but then you throw in the 80s, because the fucking 80s rock.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I grew up in the 70s, but
it's a good time.
80s was my niche, right? 80s was I'm that idiot savant. I'm an 80s moron. I know a lot of stuff about the 80s that I care to admit. I'm that moron that knows what Scooby-Doo episodes are going to be, but that's kind of 60s, 70s. I already know the Scooby-Doo episodes are going to be just by the first 1 minute of it, right? Yeah. But the cool thing is now, what's coming out? So if it's not a indie book that's being made into a TV show, it's also video games, right? There, Greg. So what's coming out? The big one coming out is Fallout. Is coming out. I guess they push up the date. It's coming out now, April 10th or something like that. I'm not a geek for that stuff because I stopped playing video games with PS2. Yeah. So, but apparently with Halo and now Fallout, there's a lot of big roar about that, right? What, are you guys excited, or do you guys play? I know, Greg.
I'm a retro guy too, man. I focus on NES, Super Nintendo, N64 stuff from around that time. I'm familiar with the Halo series. I haven't watched it yet though. I plan on it at some point. I just haven't done it.
Yeah. Did you guys play? What was your game of choice, Russell and Nick?
For me personally, the last time I actually played consoles was probably in the PS2 days with like Tony Hawk Pro Skating and stuff like that, and Resident Evil. And then I actually switched over and I started playing online gaming. So I was playing EverQuest and EverQuest 2 when that game came out later. So I spent a lot of years playing like hardcore player versus player on those actual online games. I was a big fan of the NES, and then I had the PS1 and PS2 after the Super Nintendo. But yeah, I as far as I can remember, I remember buying a PS4, I think at one time, and I bought a couple of horror games on it. I think I played it for about a week and sold it. Went back to playing my online stuff, like I said, with EverQuest and EverQuest 2. But
what how about you, Nick?
I never played online games, but I loved Dreamcast when that was out, and I loved playing a game called Power Stone, and I love the Ready to Rumble boxing game. It was fantastic. PS2 I played, Crazy Taxi too. PS2 I like to play Twisted Metal. And I loved Tiger Woods Golf and Madden. The games like that were great for me. I grew up sports, a lot of sports. Very macho. What are you gonna do? Used to be.
I was used to be. Yeah.
Used to be. GoldenEye was big.
See,
big time for me.
I was an NES straight to Sega.
Sega too.
Sega
Genesis
as
well. Yeah, Sega Genesis.
And man, I gotta tell
Kombat.
you, the very first time I'll never forget. The very first time I saw PlayStation 1, it was in a demo.
Yeah.
I think the game was Tekken or something like that, and my mind was blown. If you guys ever seen Anchorman, that's right. Hold on here, Russell.
Oh yeah, that's a rare game.
That's pretty cool. The Flintstones.
What is that? Donkey Kong?
NES.
Flintstones.
Was it Donkey? What is
Bubble?
Kirby?
Yeah.
Kirby?
Bubble.
Okay.
That's 0 for 2 there, Nick. What else you got?
I can't see.
You got stadium events. Look at you.
Wow.
now
I've got a few.
That's a tough one, right? That's a tough one to find, right, Greg? The stadium event?
that's super rare. But I haven't had the cojones to pop it open yet because I found those games at a yard sale.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
So I haven't had the cojones to pop them open yet because the case is clean, the art is correct.
I wouldn't.
But I don't have the cojones yet to pop it open and make sure that it's not some damn repo crap.
You know what you could. Oh yeah, okay, I got
There's no box, right?
Oh,
that doesn't mean anything. I mean, the box is super. That's a $18,000 game. If you got the box and the art to go with it, it's about a $30,000 game. So it's extremely difficult to find the book and the box.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't had the balls to open it.
But
Actually, I was a big collector. I had 382 NES games.
Wow.
And I sold my entire collection, and those were the ones I kept out of my collection. And like I said, ever since I found them, 8 years ago, in a yard sale, along with a box of NES games.
Yeah.
I haven't had
never
the
thought to
balls
collect
open
them.
them.
I never thought to collect games.
I got to be honest, Greg. Maybe you could. If this is your first time watching the show, you know that we talk about absolutely everything. Yeah. All right, so just letting you know, we talk comics. They were like an episode of Seinfeld. It's all a show all about nothing. But Greg, Russell just kind of brought it up to my attention. There's like knockoffs of this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're super easy to spot. All you do is open the case. And if it's the true, if it's just the little what's the word I'm looking for? The chip in it.
Yeah.
You're fine. But if you open it up and there's any type of wiring going from it, that's a repo. That's a reproduction.
With the cases, it's usually easy to tell too, because on the back side of the case, there's usually an indentation mark on the Nintendo label in the back that'll make it that you can see it. The repos don't have that. Another thing too is the so like N64, they have like the engraved Nintendo logo. It just looks super unclean on the. It is easy to identify them if you know what you're looking for.
Well, one of these days in the very near future, we're going to have a video game / toy show, because people love talking about video games and toys. You know why? Because it brings back the nostalgia. Oh, the nostalgia. Oh,
And
nostalgia.
and they're collectible, so it fits with comic guys.
And they're collectible.
Yeah.
But you know what though? I do want to look at. I did want to bring up something. Russell, you did a Pooh Power Ranger, didn't you?
Yeah, we just did a new one. It's in pre-sale right now on my page for the retailer. I actually handle my covers a little different than any
Power
art.
Ranger.
Yeah. So whenever I do covers for retailers, whether it's Image Comics or Dynamite or Indie Project or Do You Poo, Hardly Thin, I kind of work out an agreement with them. The first 12 hours that book's up for sale, it goes up to sale on my page first before it goes to the public. Because knock on wood, lucky enough, most of the covers I do sell out. So whether it's a 30 print run, 100 print run, or a 500 print run. So I've got some pretty good fans that show up and show love. So it's an homage to that cover right there.
Homage to that cover right there.
Yeah, you should see it on my page. But the retailer wanted to do that. He's a big Jason David Frank fan. And as you guys know, he passed away, I believe it was last year. And he actually got to see the last White Dragon Do You Poo cover I did at a con and signed it and absolutely loved it. So the retailer wanted to do another one, to pay respect and a little homage to it. And that one's on pre-sale. So that's why you'll see the pre-sale on my page instead of like just a link to some retailer's website. So I actually handle the pre-sale for them now. They contact the people once they make their claims. They do the invoicing, but I share it out. I help promote it, and I try to make sure my books sell as much as possible. I'm not one of those guys who do a cover reveal, and then I stroll on like I didn't have anything else to do with anything. So that one's doing really well. It went up yesterday, and it's over half sold out already.
That's great. Once again, we talked about this when Murat was here about, hey, Do You Poo books? Love it. I mean, not me. I'm not a Do You Poo guy, but people love it and people gobble them up, right? And
they're fun.
It's great. It's
collectible.
It's fun.
Yeah, and it's collectible. That's another thing I would like to add real quick about these Psycho Sal books is he puts out a lot of highly collectible versions of his covers too.
Yeah.
So they're not just for readers; they're for collectors too.
Yeah.
Some rare books.
Go ahead, Russ.
I was going to say the thing about Do You Poo. Here's the thing: whether it's Do You Poo or Hardly Thin, and that's the main two. Now there's also Tigumverse and All Out Poo, but those and Naughty and Nice, but those are the main two. And one of the things we really, really, really do need to stop doing in this industry as fans or retailers or whatever scenario you fit into, you have to stop telling other people what they should and shouldn't collect. If you ain't paying for my stuff, sit down, look up, and don't say another word.
Yeah.
Okay? Until you're paying my bills, that's when you can tell. And we need to stop doing that to people. Like I see it happen all the time. And I'm going to be blunt and honest with you. The reason books are in the crapper right now with Marvel and DC outside the writing issues is because you have 3,000 print run books on the retailer exclusives. And for those that don't know, that is the absolute minimum that you can print for Marvel or DC on trade dress is a 3,000 print run. And then you can do 1,000 virgins or 1,000 whatever other covers.
Yeah,
but
tough.
That is the minimum.
It's really tough.
Yeah. So, and trust me, I get it. It's, you're investing 15 grand into something like that.
Yeah.
But when you're coming out the gate trying to sell books for, with a 3,000 print run and there's nothing special about that book, and you're trying to sell it for, $40, $50 books on day one and week one, you can't be surprised when 6 months later, they're $10 buy it now books in people's sales.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the hate for the Do You Poos and Hardly Thins comes into it, because those books 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later are still expensive books.
Right.
But you're also dealing with books that the majority of ones that we sell to the public, you know, like when I do a cover, there's usually 25 to 30 trade dress regulars. There's usually 10 to 30 virgin regulars. And then there's usually 10 metals.
Yeah.
And they usually sell out within a few days, if not a few minutes.
It's a good way to keep it. Good way to keep it. Keep it
Yeah.
collectible.
So they stay at a respectable value later.
Right.
You know, so that's where some of the hate comes from, but people really got to stop doing it, because if you want your 3,000 print run Marvel and DC retailer exclusives to stay at a decent value, well, here's a real easy concept. Stop putting them for $10 6 months later.
Right.
It's a super concept that's easy to do, and you don't have to do it. Stop doing it. Don't worry about it. You know, but see, they'll buy a bunch of these books on day one, or they'll order a bunch of these books, and then they'll sit on it for 6 months thinking it's going to do some magic numbers later, and it's just not. So then this guy posts his for $20, and then this guy, instead of posting his for $19, he posts his for $15, and then the next guy's at $10, and then the next guy's selling slab signed copies for $50. Right. So, you know, but that's just my opinion on it.
Sappy mentioned something that is a word that's missing in this community, and that is fun. For some odd reason, the word fun has become, it's going the way of the dodo, and I'm trying to bring this fucker back, because you know what? There's something about that. People are taking things way too serious when it comes to collecting. I was on a show last week on Ish Maven's Comic Sense, and he specifically asked me, hit me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He said, I need for you to be on my show tonight. Can you be on there? Because you are perfect for it. And I said, why is that? He goes, I want to bring up gatekeeping. And I want to bring up people.
I was watching.
Who, actually, Nick was there. He goes, and you're perfect because you're almost like, I'm the triple threat. I don't read. I only collect slabs now. And I'm a key collector. I just collect first appearances.
Yeah.
And there's people out there who lose their mind because you're collecting wrong. The Russell Williams and the Murat Michaels of the world are ruining the comic community by making these pool bullshit books. Yeah. Murat said he's getting close to 3,000, if not over 3,000 variants. I mean, okay, what do you care? Why do you care so? Why do people care so much about what people do with their money and their time?
Right.
People love to bitch about the smallest things and let the bigger things fly over their head. It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing, but it's not your money.
You'd be surprised what's in my collection. You know, I collect modern stuff. I collect remarks on modern books. I collect rare variants that just came out today. But I also have 7 books left in ASM 1 through 441. I have 38 books left in Uncanny X-Men. I've got a complete Werewolf by Night. I've got complete Ghost Rider Volume 1. I've got complete Tomb of Dracula. I collect whatever the F I want. And it's fun.
Nick's one of those. Now, Nick is in case for you guys who are just watching, because I know there's a lot of new people who are tuning into the show.
And I collect the Glopple. I got 30 freaking different covers.
Nick's a completist, and a completist is somebody who wants every single book from number 1 all the way to whatever it's at. Right. And then there's the purists, the ones who, God damn it, comic books are meant to be read.
Yeah.
Right. And not entombed. You know, they look at my shit. You're like, yeah, what are you doing, man? It's
like that voice.
You like that voice? Well,
God damn it.
They all sound like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Books are meant to be read.
I should just post a video where I was coloring inside of Hulk 181.
Oh.
See how many people I can piss off.
Oy.
Right.
That might hurt. That might hurt me a little bit.
Strange thing. Like I don't get TNA.
But you can.
Like I don't get TNA books.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Porn's free. Go look it up on the internet. Yeah. Now I'm not talking about TNA covers, because that's just a little bit of getting attention, and it's whatever. But like there's literally, there's legitimate like literal books out there that from one front cover to the back cover, it's a hustler storyline. I don't get it. Lots of people eat it up. It's one of the, I mean, you could slap a book on Kickstarter right now with that in it, and nobody know who the hell you are, and it'll get a $30,000 Kickstarter.
Yep.
Is it frustrating? Yeah, but it's not my thing, so I don't care.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people need to grasp that. Do You Poo may not be your thing. Psycho Sal may not be your thing. I've already caught shit from people because they see some of Psycho Sal #1 still selling for $50, $60, $80 in some of these live sales, and that book's been out a little over a year.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't make any sense. Marvel and DC's doing this and this, and here's, you know, why is that indie book sell? Why does it matter?
Don't buy it.
It's a weird thing in this industry, whether it's other artists being petty, jealous, lazy people that want to start crap, or it's, you know, supposed fans that want to hammer other people about how they collect. Just let people enjoy it. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't matter you. And it does not affect your collecting style one bit.
Right.
We talk about this. This drives me crazy because, and I talk about this relentlessly. The people who watch Marvel movies, DC movies, or how it is, and they get so angry of how bad it is, like visceral anger, as if they invested their life savings to make that movie and it bombed, and now you're living in the streets. It's not, you did nothing but just buy. You
living in the streets.
I mean, you paid. Well, what you may or may not even pay the ticket to watch it, and yet you're gonna bitch about it because he's not that way. The uniform's different.
He doesn't wear blue sneakers.
I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. I've watched movies where I get pissed off, but I'm not out here rioting in the streets or raging all over Facebook about it. You know, if I go to the movie and I watch it and I go, I mean, okay, case in point, JLA. I wanted to beat my head against a brick wall. But I'm not going to go to Facebook and like rage about it or harass people who did like it.
There's
you know, Ezra Miller and that whole stupid running crap he did. You know, now you ask my oldest daughter, now she'll rant on that one for a good 10 minutes because she's a huge Flash fan, and that highly pissed her off.
Now,
but
I get that. I get that. If you're
but harassing other people that may have liked it, I don't get that.
If you're,
I don't care enough about it for that.
If you're a purist of someone who read every single Silver Surfer book known to man from beginning to now, and all of a sudden you see what people do is not reading. We talked about this last week. People are not reading about this whole Silver Surfer thing. She is casted as Shalabal, and they did not say female. All it says is female Silver Surfer, and people right away lost their shit. I mean, lost their shit.
Well, it's people that don't know there was one.
Yeah.
But and it's like, relax, people.
Yeah.
I get that Marvel goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when it comes to for some of this stuff, but they're not going to risk it for the biscuit,
right?
And
also,
not put Silver Surfer as what's his face,
Norrin Rapp. Right. Yeah. Also, they don't care what 45-year-old men think because they're not making these movies for us.
Well, to be fair, they really do need to start thinking about 45-year-old men.
They do, because they would sell. They would. More of us would go to the movies.
Those are the people that's been. So I get the frustration on a lot of it.
Because they're Disney. They don't care about us.
You trying to create a movie or TV show to grab the 1% of people who aren't buying your shit to begin with is stupid. When you're dealing with the comic world, or you're dealing with Star Wars, you're dealing with all these areas that have built-in fan bases for generations, millions of people that love this stuff. You make the movies for them. You don't make the movies for the 1% because you want some new crowds. Those people will bring the new crowds because they'll bring their girlfriends, their husbands, their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, their children to see those movies to create new fans. So on that part, I do think you kind of need to pay respect to the people who made your part of the industry possible.
You're right.
No, you're right.
That's why Daredevil and Punisher, those shows did so well. And my wife knew nothing of those, and when we watched them together, she fell in love with those shows.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What a
my
shot.
wife.
A new fan created.
Yep.
Yeah, it is true.
And
Speaking
then they
of
took it away.
Speaking of creations, look at this. We got the glasses in the dark. Dale
There
just
it
happened
is.
to join us.
I'm sorry. This is my son's. My throat is fucking dry. They won by one fucking run. It was just like one of those games.
Yes.
I was so happy for him. I'm paying a trainer because it's his first year, and he did good. He struck out, but he was like a solid. He got a little foul. I'm proud of him, but it was a good fucking game. And arguing with the other parents, like it's been a while.
Fouls are good, dude. That's a good at bat.
Oh my gosh.
It's about making the pitchers
let's
throw
hurry up.
pitches.
I want to apologize to Nick and Will. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be there. My wife's here at the store real quick.
Never.
I'm
Don't
heading home
apologize.
already. But damn, I'm just real fucking hyped right now. So I can't even see my face. It's like so fucking dark. I'm so dark itself. I'll make sure I say I'm correctly saying what I'm going to say, and I don't want to get canceled. But on what y'all were talking about, yeah, I think if it's gonna like, there's a lot of things I post on the page, right? They're trying to. I'm comparing like certain things. So many people want to compare the comics to the MCU. At this point, we already know the MCU is nothing to do with the comics. It's nothing we can do for them to change. We've already not gone to Madam Web, right? Sony didn't learn their lesson. It's a tax write-off. There was a, I think I shared about the Secret Society of Magical Negroes. That shit, $2.4 million. That's all they fucking got. I mean, obviously, Magical Society of Negroes.
What?
No, yeah, even the title was stupid. The whole premise was like a black guy making a white person happy, and they'll keep their powers and bullshit like that. Hey,
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, you're surprised why it didn't make any money. Like, yes, you want to do something, this and that. Like, Barbie made money because Barbie's for girls, and they push a little agenda, whatever. It made money, but
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad either. To me,
I
it
watched
wasn't
it
that
with my
bad.
wife. The agenda wasn't as bad as people made it seem. It was fine.
And I agree with you, but don't push Batman and have him an agenda. I haven't seen one yet, and I hope they don't, because it's
Right.
kept chilling. But with James Gunn changing a lot of stuff, we'll see how that goes, right? I mean, if they go with Invincible style, Invincible is fucking crazy. I don't know if y'all saw the season.
I just started watching it.
The second season come out yet?
No, there was the second half of the second season.
Okay, the second half hasn't come out yet.
Is waiting to fuck you, Jason. But I watched X-Men today, the latest episode, and it's amazing. Honestly, I'm surprised.
Is it though? Let's just be honest for a minute. Is it? Because I just watched it too, and I was a big fan for the first one, but my fanboy's in the closet. I leave my fanboy in the closet anytime I watch anything.
Did you see the last episode?
So is it amazing because it's good storytelling, or is it amazing because it's clicking your little nostalgia button?
No, I'll go amazing because of nostalgia, and okay because of good writing. But everybody was expecting it to bomb and be shit. You know what I mean?
How could it possibly? See, that's where you gotta use a little common sense. They automatically created a show that, again, aiming for 30, 45, 50-year-old people to a degree, especially 30, 40 range. You're hitting the nostalgia button right out the gate with the music, the whole 9 yards. How could it possibly bomb? I mean, like I said, because the whole time, unless you lock your little fanboy boy up, you're grinning from ear to ear, like when you watch it. Like I caught myself doing it when the music first kicked in, and then I had to go, whoa, stop, hold up, watch the move, watch it for what it is. And in my opinion, of course, it's different for everyone. And just because it's my opinion doesn't mean anyone else's opinion is wrong. It doesn't make mine the end all be all. But for me, it was.
So let me ask you this, Will. You saw the last episode?
Yeah.
The last I want to say the last 3 minutes of that episode, I think was the best part of the whole episode. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So I that's why I was like, okay, it's good, but it left me at a cliffhanger. I didn't expect this to leave me at a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, what's next? What's gonna happen next? So I'm like, all right, they're working on it.
I'm curious for the next season, or however you want to put it. Now I'm curious to see where it can go and the action it could produce. So I'm definitely excited because again, I liked it, but it wasn't like holy hell, throw my hands in there for me. But I tend to be a little bit more harder on some things. But
we're talking about Invincible still.
No, X-Men.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this in the green room, Dell. I don't get it. It's all right.
I'm surprised because I know you don't read. At least it's telling you, giving you words.
Well, but this is the thing is that, and I was telling the guys, I was already 2 years like married, and it just wasn't my thing. It just was my thing.
What year were you born?
72.
I was born in 75.
1944.
Just wasn't, but then again, I wasn't also TMNT. I wasn't into that. I just, wasn't the thing. Hey, Dale, so make it home so you could pop in and show the.
That's something we need to talk about for sure. I can't wait to show that. I saw half of it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the other half of the trailer live, so we can have like a live perspective of that trailer. Because
you know what? Because Nick hasn't seen it yet. Also,
no, neither. All right, that's gonna be good. The Joker one?
Oh yeah, the new one. No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it, or do we?
No. We're gonna play it. Dale's gonna get home. He's gonna wrap it up, and we'll play it.
Caesar, you know how to share the screen?
Yeah, do it. I mean, we can wait till you get home. It's no big deal. I mean,
I'm cool with it. I mean, I can see it here. I don't want to like keep y'all waiting for me.
No, we have plenty of stuff to talk about. I want to talk about the eBay acquisition of Golding, which I mean, is that going to be a big deal? Let's go ahead and talk about that. Dale, you can go ahead and get home.
Real quick, I did get in touch with the guy that got ripped up by Ash K. So he'll be on the show next Wednesday.
Oh, we got Jordy on next Wednesday?
Yeah, so I'm going to have him. So we'll talk about it. But I'll get off and I'll get on as soon as I can.
Fantastic. Yeah. Good.
Good old Ashtray. Still at it, huh?
Yeah, good old Ashtray.
Who is that? Who is this guy?
Ashtray Benedine or some shit. He's a.
Now, is that his real name or is that another alias?
It's Ash K.
Ash K.
Because we're almost to that time frame where what's his name, George Vermax should pop up at any moment now.
Yeah, he's like he's like a. You're right. He pops in like every 2 years, right? Under a new name.
Yep.
So Ash-K, or
Akshay, whatever it is.
I haven't heard of that one.
And in Silver Age UK was his IG name.
He has been messaging me for 5 years.
Yeah, he's been at this since I've been in the game.
Stop playing hard to get.
Well, I never let him have any.
Well, once you see his feed pics, the feed pics,
so hold up. Before we get into that, I just want to clarify because this is the first time I've heard of this guy. And you said again.
Again.
Okay, so I try to keep my thumb on the artery pretty good for scammers and shit because you guys know I'll call them out in a heartbeat. I don't care who's feeling I'm going to hurt.
He's an interesting one.
I've not heard of him.
He's hard to pin down.
A lot of people, but if I haven't heard of him, and here's a panel of people who has,
right?
And Dale said again, why has he not been plastered all over social media?
He has been.
He's back.
He has been.
He's been booted out of, I'm going to say, 90% of Facebook comic groups for years now.
The problem is
no call outs.
The problem is every year or so, there's a new guy who creates a group who doesn't know who he is, and he lays dormant in the group, and nobody notices he's there. And then all of a sudden, he'll have like a flare up, and he'll start reaching out to members who make posts. He doesn't ever post anything. He'll contact people privately and ask them.
I got this book, or I got this.
Ask them if they're looking for books, and what he's actually doing is taking pictures of other people's books and going, "Hey, I've got this book," and he'll lie and say he's selling shit on consignment, and that's not even what's happening.
He'll Right. He'll sell books he doesn't have yet.
Yeah,
Right.
so he'll try to buy it off of, say, eBay for a lower amount and then send it. So some of the books, people are actually getting them, and that's why he's not been totally cut out.
Right.
But he needs to be.
Well, that's so he can also get that wonderful magic defense that every time somebody says this dude just scammed me out of hundreds of dollars, you get those 2 or 3 little ants that will chime in with, "Oh, I've done several transactions with this guy,
right.
and he's never done me wrong." Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out because now I'll delete my thing because you got lucky. It completely nullified what pipe he laid to me. Look, I'm gonna tell you guys something in the audience. I don't give a crap who it is. If somebody posts with proof that someone has scammed them out of money, do not go to their post and chime in with your personal experience with that person and that it was in a positive light, because it has not a damn thing to do with the negative that just happened to them.
Right. Somebody in the chat just said he's like Zachary Russell. He's actually nothing like Zachary Russell.
And he is not kin to me. So
Zach Russell is the fucking worst.
Yep. Now, George Vermack's a good one too. $50,000.
I don't know that person.
Y'all probably may have known him as Geo.
Oh,
that's
or
what he came back as about a year and a half or 2 years ago.
He was Heat Seekers.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he did exclusives. I think he did exclusive with Dell. I mean, we.
Well, here's the thing that pisses me off. Again, this is the thing. No one changes in this industry. They are who they are. If they scam people yesterday, they're going to scam people next month. Right. They don't change, especially in this with social media, because there's really no repercussions. Look at the people that are still shopping with Black Flag after they screwed a lot of people. So they're not.
Look at Epic.
See, to this date, I still don't know who wrote that letter stating we knew who Geo was. We allowed him back into the circle under a new alias, knowing what he had done the previous year. I still don't know who those people are. I have not been able to find out who those people are. Because in my personal opinion, you are the company you keep. And when you let that piece of crap back into our community to where he can screw people out of thousands of more dollars, you're just responsible as he is, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Geo is like the boogeyman, because as Jason said, that Jang scared him and said, hey, Geo's coming around again, right? You better, so people check underneath your beds and your closets.
This is why I don't mess with Whatnot anymore, because I know, Greg, I know you do big show on Whatnot. No offense to anybody who sells on Whatnot, but I won't buy from Whatnot anymore because they don't kick out that dude Epic Collectibles, whatever his name is. The guy was caught on video stealing comic books. He's a top-notch piece of shit. I have commented in his live show, and I got mother effed by all his moderators and booted out of his show, which is fine. But Whatnot will do nothing about it. They'll let him continue to sell on there. He's got 300 people a night in his show buying a ton of shit from him. He's not kicked out of NYCC, and I'm going to see him there when I'm there. And if he tries to come to our booth, by the way, I'm an official partner of the Comic Corner. If he comes to our booth and tries to buy our exclusives, the answer is no. Go F yourself, or I'll slap the skin off your face. So,
because their excuse is, well, he hasn't. I hate this phrase because that's what fans like to say when we out someone.
He's allowed to stay.
I already know what you're going to say.
Why is he allowed to stay?
They haven't screwed me yet, and that's what Whatnot has said. Well, he hasn't done anything wrong on our platform yet. Oh, okay. But because all of this is shown proof,
unacceptable.
He gets a pass. Yeah,
unacceptable.
We have
video proof.
We have to start creating a line in the sand. This whole BS that we let people slide because we're scared of the boat we might rock.
Right.
Man, people got to grow some balls.
Dude, if Nerdy Girl and all these other personalities, influencers won't deal with him, then these other places need to let him go too.
But
because they'll deal with anybody.
But as Matthew said, and Russell said, they haven't screwed Whatnot. We'll look at, hey, they haven't, once again, just like Russell said, they haven't done anything to us yet. They haven't screwed us yet on a live or anything to put Whatnot's name in the mud.
Before you go any further,
Hated.
I have been told to go fuck myself live on his show.
Well,
That should be enough. That should be enough.
Here's the thing. When you're outed with proof that you're a thieving piece of shit, there should not be anything about terms of use. It should be a moral line in the sand that if you do this to people in our community, we will not associate with you. I don't care if you're an artist, whether you're a retailer, whether you're a publisher. I don't care who you are. If you're screwing over other people in this industry with proof, it needs to be a line in the sand and you're done.
You're out.
They need to be treated like they have the plague.
Yep.
Society, us as humans, are fucking weird.
Well, community can be stupid sometimes. Yeah. Sorry, brother.
It is weird. It's just weird because
it's ridiculous.
We are weird.
When you have video of shenanigans going on and it's blasted all over the community, and yet,
it's like politics.
Whatnot can it's completely politics. Why? You said it earlier, Nick. He has 300 people in the room. He's selling, and he's selling under the Whatnot name. And once again, Whatnot saying, I don't know, they haven't done anything to us, But it once again, Greg, he sells a Whatnot. He's successful at it. There's many people who sell it on there, and very reputable people. Greg's one of them.
Yeah.
And I get what you guys are saying. I get what you guys are saying for sure. I agree with you, but I understand their side too a little bit because, like I say, if they're not doing it on the platform, I agree the guy's a piece of shit. He should be removed when he's doing stuff like that. Right. But I don't think they're looking at it like they're getting probably sent all this stuff, but they're probably not even looking at what they're being sent. They're just
they're making money.
Their platform exactly.
Yeah.
Now they did ban one of their biggest sellers off the platform because it was proven that he was doing things on it revolved around mystery boxes where he was pulling the good items from the mystery boxes. Whatnot had to have proof of it, and they pulled him. This guy was doing like $5 million a month for them. He was doing big numbers. It was the professional football player turned Whatnot streamer. If you guys can, anyone can Google it and find the.
Oh yeah, he played for the Giants.
Yeah, Blake. I can't remember his last name. It's
Blake Martinez.
Yeah, thank you, Blake Martinez. And they did ban him. He's gone.
I only know that because I'm a Giants fan, and I'm ashamed now.
So, that's why I've never put the platform on blast or anything like that, because at the end of the day, it's their platform. They can make the decision about what they want to do. And, and I get not listening to hearsay. I tell everyone, don't ever listen to anything anyone tells you if they can't show you proof.
Right.
But there, in my personal opinion, I know me personally, I won't work with people that I know have screwed people. I'm not doing it. I don't need the money from them. It's
you're right, Matt.
That again, I'm a big believer. You are the company you keep. So, I just won't do it. I mean, it doesn't make me better than anybody. It's just I'm not going to do it because I'm not stupid enough to think because I can say the magic words right now. They haven't screwed me yet that they won't do it.
Right.
It's just they haven't gotten to you yet, or you don't spend enough money for them to screw you. Yeah. So, I mean, people like, Geo, George Vermack and these guys who have done thousands. And before anybody chimes in with this shit about why hasn't he been prosecuted, welcome to Facebook. Because it would take every single person that he's screwed over to file charges against him. And then, they might could do something. Most people, once they've gotten screwed out of hundreds of dollars or, $50 here, $100 there, $20 here, $1,000 there, most people wash their hands of it and they want to forget about it. That's the sad thing. You would have to have all of them file it. So that's why, I just put them on block and I ignore them and I go my way. I don't even want to accidentally do business with them later.
It's
one last thing about the Blake thing. He said that within the last 12 calendar months when he was banned, he was doing Pokemon cards and he did $11 million in Pokemon cards when they banned him in 12 months.
Oh my goodness!
Because they actually have proof, right? That was the whole thing.
They had proof.
And there you go, Russell. Right? Proof is what people want, and they can say, So let's just play
And it
devil's
tastes
advocate.
good in the pudding.
But that is a little bit of a fine line. There's a difference, like I said, I get them, saying, oh, it has to happen on our platform. At the end of the day, no, it really doesn't. If you see the proof, if people send you the proof that this guy screwed people out of hundreds and, even thousands of dollars at a time, and there's proof,
That's
you
all I
can
need.
choose to sever ties right then. Once he's caught scamming people on their platform, that's not taking a moral high ground. That's at that point, oh shit, we have to sever ties. If we allow him to stay, now we become liable. It's a different ball game.
Well, it's like you said, it's by association.
Yeah.
So if
Anyway,
if one of us was a douchebag, then I guess technically through everyone's eyes, then you're all douchebags because you all hang out with that one douchebag, right? And it's
Depends on the level.
On that note,
depends on the level.
I'm sorry, it does.
watch
It
Greg
depends on the level.
Greg Haas watch Greg
If you're
Haas
hanging out
show
with thieves,
on
I'm
Whatnot.
sorry. It depends on the level. If you're hanging out with somebody that somebody just calls a douchebag because they hurt their feelings or they said something they didn't like, that's a different story. But if you're hanging out with someone is slandering other people on purpose with no proof, trying to ruin someone's reputation and job, or you're hanging out with someone who is stealing money from people, I'm sorry, that's guilty.
Now I'm going to say we are by no means bashing Whatnot. We have
No, we're not.
tons of friends who
It's
sell
fine.
Whatnot,
Yeah.
including the guy on the panel now.
Yeah.
Jason, I think Jason
Including
sells on Whatnot. Tons of guys sell on Whatnot.
Watch Greg Haas Spawn show.
Yeah.
Please
I mean,
buy Spawn books from Greg.
But that being said, now this is actually a good segue. I have yet to join an eBay live show.
It's fun. I like it.
I did pop in actually very quickly as a guest when Cody was on, when the Comic Corner was on, and I just to see the format, and it's almost just the same thing. But now that eBay bought Golding Auction House, and this just got announced today. So maybe Greg, I'm going to look at you because there's probably people going, "What's the big deal of eBay purchasing this auction house and all that?" What are people afraid of or not afraid of, or is it a big deal? What's going on?
What does it all mean, Basil?
Well, the premise of Golden is very different than eBay, right? It's more of like a traditional auction house, where they have kind of like Heritage. If you guys are familiar with Heritage, it's the same idea where it's one item at a time. They do featured auctions. They'll do one big item at a time. It's mostly big items for the most part, and it's very different than what eBay's done. So I am curious to see what they're going to do, if they're going to try to merge it with their eBay Live, or what angle they're going to go. Another really interesting aspect of this that not many people are talking about is the whole eBay Vault program that they have. They actually sold that to PSA in the same move. They sold their eBay Vault program, which is where you could buy like a PSA sports card from someone. Instead of having it sent to you, you have it sent to the eBay Vault. It's held there. You can relist it on eBay, and then when it sells, they send it directly to the new buyer. Now, what's good about that is the initial buyer never has to pay tax on it. So you actually, because you never actually handle the item, you don't have to pay tax on it. So it saves you whatever your 7-10%, whatever your tax is.
Fucking loopholes.
Interesting. So
they're treating it like stock.
Yes, exactly. But they just
Crazy.
So now what PSA, the speculation. So for me, this is more interesting than the Golden thing. The speculation is you're going to send a card into PSA. PSA is going to grade it, list it for you, put it in the vault immediately, and then that way you can send a card in and have it listed on eBay within like a week instead of having to have them mail it to you and then list it and all that stuff.
I need to hold my collectible after it's been graded, dude.
Yeah, you'll still have to pay tax on it when you when you take the item out.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, that's how it works with stocks.
So let me see. Let me try to get my logical brain over this because I'm a fucking idiot.
Cheers, sir.
So okay, so I have a Michael Jordan whatever, and I want to send it in to eBay. So now eBay would grade it. put it in the vault.
PSA would grade
I'm sorry, PSA will grade it, put it in the eBay vault,
which is now the PSA vault.
the PSA vault. Okay, so PSA will grade it, put in PSA vault. They will then list it for me, and whoever buys it, they send it directly to that person.
So that's what I'm guessing. It hasn't really been released yet what they're going to do, but that's what makes sense. I mean, that's what eBay's doing with the vault.
So before I would send it to PSA, they grade it, then they would send it back to me. Then I have to put it on eBay. Then now I send it to them.
Then you would send it to the eBay vault. That you can do that too. So you get all your grades back from PSA. You could send them all to the eBay vault. They'll hold them for you. That way you don't have high dollar stuff at your house. It's under lock and key.
So
these cards are hundreds of thousands of dollars of cards.
Right. So what happens in that scenario where someone buys it and they're shipping it to said buyer and it magically gets lost?
Oh, there's insurance, I'm assuming, right, Greg?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, are they paying it?
Thing is, yeah, I think eBay takes the. I sell a lot of stuff on eBay too, and anytime, so I'm a part of their international program, and this has happened 5 or 6 times in the last year that I send something over, video game stuff. I'll send it over, and maybe it's a brand new video game. It gets opened. eBay actually just doesn't even ask any questions. They just send me my money back. You know what I mean? And then they'll send, or they'll send me, they'll let me keep the money from the initial transaction. Then they'll send the buyer the money back and say sorry. So eBay's been good about any issues. Now I've never used their vault, so I can't speak to the vault. But
yeah, I mean, I do got to give eBay credit. I mean, I haven't sold on them in probably 6 or 7 years because I actually sold one of my NES games to a collector. Or not a collector, but a guy, and it was one that was like I don't even remember what game it was now, but it was like an $800 game. And the guy, I took pictures of the game. I had opened the cartridge, took pictures of the interior, all of that, and then sent it to the guy. And then the guy tried to pull a scammy on it, and he put a repo thingy inside the cartridge and tried to claim from PayPal that I sent him the wrong game. And of course, I sent them all the pictures and everything of what was mailed to the guy. And, luckily they had my back. But that just got me wondering. I was like, if they're selling those high ends like that, are they going to be taking? Because if the card gets lost, the money doesn't go to eBay, the value insurance, it goes to the owner of the card or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, eBay will give the money back to both parties will get their money back.
Yeah.
So the original owner will get their money for the card, and the buyer will get compensated for loss of that card. And eBay's good about that. And I do have to say, Whatnot is good about that too, guys. Seriously, Whatnot is really good about that because I ship hundreds of packages a week through Whatnot, and sometimes it's USPS. They're going to get lost.
Right.
Whatnot has the seller's back 100%.
That's good.
So it says, how are they about letting you get your stuff back from their vault?
Once it's in the vault,
once
you can just close it out and they'll send it back.
You can't. So when they first opened the vault, I had someone reach out to me and talk to me, trying to get me to send some of my stuff in. I don't have a whole lot of sports card stuff, and that's what they focus on. But I had some high dollar stuff listed on eBay at the time, and they said you can get it back, but then you have to pay taxes on it when you get it back.
Also,
and is there also a holding fee? I mean,
No.
you pay? No, that's not. Well, there you
No.
go, Ish. So you can send in your feed pics and
no fee, no tax.
Yeah.
Well, until you pull it out or until it sells, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a story. That's a story of men's life.
Interesting.
You get taxed if you don't get taxed if you pull it out. Hell,
Till you pull it out.
Hey, listen. So this is the thing. So
Get to leave it in tax.
So what about the golden? So the whole golden thing. So I'm assuming now eBay is getting to the heavy duty auction house side because they'll just keep Golding will keep being Golding. They'll just be owned in a sense of eBay. So now they're dipping their toes into the major auction house, right? Basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's with eBay behind Golden. I think it's gonna help push. Obviously the big boys Heritage still. Heritage is. It's going to be hard to supplant them, but with eBay behind Golden, I'm guessing Ken Golden's still going to stay at the helm for at least the meantime because he's the face of Golden. Everybody knows who Ken Golden is.
So good point. For those who do not know who Ken Golding is, he has a show. they did a show on Netflix, which I saw last year called Golding. Is that what it is, or something to that point?
No,
House,
it's
House of Gold. It's whatever it is.
House of
Fascinating.
Flowers.
Fascinating.
it's King of Collectibles.
King
the
of
Golden,
Collectibles. Why was I off?
the Golden
Uh,
Touch. So they're doing. What's interesting is they're filming season 2 right now.
Yes,
so I'm sure we're
right.
gonna get some insight into this sale once it does come out.
I wonder, do you think? Because one of the reasons I've stayed away from eBay since, like I said, that thing happened, even though they, agreed with me. And then I started hearing these horror stories about people shipping stuff and people getting their money back because they claim, like I even saw one where eBay refunded someone a buyer's money because the guy shipped him a slab inside a priority box, and the priority box was damaged, but the slab was nothing wrong with it. And he filed a claim because the box it came in was damaged. eBay gave him his money back.
Wow.
So, yeah, nonsense like that. And that's not the first story I've heard like that. I mean, I've heard like tons of nightmare stories of fighting with people about that whole scenario because people get buyer's remorse, or they buy your shit and then a week later they see it for cheaper.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm sending this out tomorrow to someone who just bought my book.
Yeah. Do you think this could possibly help maybe with some of that if you're putting stuff, or are you talking about the vault is strictly just for high-end stuff?
The vault is for anything. You could send any card there. I think it's maybe like a $50 minimum or something like that. I can't remember the minimum, but it does take that out. You know what I mean? If the vault is sending it to the buyer, then they know that they sent him, the right thing. They didn't send him an empty box or whatever,
or a damaged item, or interesting. Okay.
Another thing I would say is, as an eBay seller, I would definitely recommend, if you're going to do it on a widespread, instance, I would definitely get an eBay store. Pay the money. It's like $30 a month. You get an eBay store. You get access to a ton of their seller tools. Also, you get a lot of perks that if something does arise, then you're going to be covered.
Now, I will say, if you're going to listen to anyone, listen to this dude right here, because he's been selling on eBay for how many years now, Greg?
About 20. I've been selling about like full time. I've been doing it for about a year, but yeah, I've been selling on eBay about 20 years.
Yeah, there you go. So it's kind of funny. Whenever I see packages like this arrive, and we've seen those Facebook posts where they show this box, and it looked like Wolverine try to get through it, but yet the slab is good. I don't give a flying rat's ass. If the slab's good, thank you for packing it like a champ. I've been lucky enough to buy from people who pack like they're shipping to the US Mint, and I'm just happy. I'm like, oh man, that's great, So the last thing I would want to do is, hey, the box is nasty.
I pack like I am shipping to Wolverine.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about, right? Some adamantium bubble wrap. That's what the shit you want.
Yeah, you got a double box. Double box. That's the big key, in my opinion.
I saw one. Was it you, Greg, who
about shrink wrap?
Who opened up? I don't know if it was you or somebody else who they put like pool noodles inside a priority box, but it was for just a Gemini. I mean, I saw it was crazy.
Yeah, they used pool noodles to encase a Gemini mailer. Because it was a Hulk 181 in there, so they were.
Well, yeah, you need to do everything for that.
I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to be that guy going, "Hey, people, try to reserve your bubble wrap and don't bubble wrap." I don't give a shit. I want you to use $400 worth of bubble wrap for my Dark Hawk 1. Yeah. That's the dude I want. I am. I want you to.
Hey man, I Gemini every raw book, and I shrink wrap it to protect it from the elements, and then it goes in another plastic bag and. All them good things.
I've always wanted to tell Russell this. One of these days, Russell, I'm gonna fucking steal that Skeletor bust. That every single time he goes live, I forget he's even there, because I look at that thing the whole time, because it is probably one of the best. It's probably one of the coolest busts I have ever seen. Because
you just like saying busts.
Well, because I have some because I'm a fat man. So, but this is the thing though, is that I was a He-Man kid. While everyone's doing the T-Man shit, I was a He-Man guy. He-Man G.I. Joe was my shit. And when I first saw this, I never knew this existed until I saw Russell Skeletor, and I was like, Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
that's like the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
I gotta say, as a kid, that's the toy that I wanted the most was Castle Grayskull. I never got it.
Yeah,
Me
Wanted-
too.
I did have it, and
Me
who knows
too.
what the hell? I probably burned it. But, you know,
Bear with me a
Didn't have
second.
it. I did have
But-
the GI Joe Command Center though.
Nice.
I had the aircraft.
I
had the
know.
aircraft carrier.
I was gonna say, I think Russell had the aircraft carrier. That was like
I was a big GI Joe nut.
I was
Sadly, I
too,
thought
man.
the cord was longer than what it is.
I used to
so-
carry a bag of GI Joes around with me everywhere I went.
you know what the funny thing is about that
Until I was
carrier,
like 17.
that Air Force carrier that came out in the 80s, even back then, it was in the hundreds of dollars.
Oh yeah.
Which my parents had a heart attack of my He-Man cost $7.99, right? So let
Yeah.
alone asking for a $200
I didn't have toys.
ship that I can't put in my bathtub. You know, I never bothered asking. I mean, I got a Castle Grayskull for Christmas. Well, Santa brought it, and then I found out who Santa was, and it just ruined my fucking life. But the thing is that I was
20, you're like 20, 21.
I found out last year. My wife told me.
2021.
My wife told me about it. What a bitch. Look at that. That is just
That's sick.
awesome.
That is
Now,
awesome.
I gotta be honest. I would be worried shit if that got shipped to me. You know,
They come in a pretty
I
serious
drove,
box though.
I drove 4 hours to pick it
you
up.
have to go pick it up.
Okay.
Okay.
But I've watched Mr. Russell
But-
here unbox some of his statues, man. They are seriously boxed, man. They take forever to get out and put together.
I'm a little bit of a sideshow collector and other things.
Those are cool. I mean,
Yeah, those are awesome.
you know,
I can't afford it. All right, I'm trying to collect ASM 1 through 441.
I
so take
wouldn't.
it easy.
I don't
No
even have room.
statues for me.
What big ones are you missing? What big ones are you missing?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, 1 through 6 and number 9 is the rest of it. That's all I'm missing.
Let's see.
Oh.
I can
Yeah.
give you 3, 4, 5, 6.
You can give me?
Give it to him.
That's what I heard.
Give
I'm
me
gonna-
is great.
I'm gonna-
You're the best, Caesar.
I didn't say give. I think
Man,
I said
You
give.
know, I
said
love
give.
drinking and talking with you because your heart opens up and it
I
just
said-
lets everything
I said,
out.
I said
Like,
give.
Your ASM collection, I
You're
can't
Gib.
ask for a better friend.
See, I don't collect comics anymore. I sold my collection, my original collection, about 8 or 10 years ago. And then once I started doing this professionally,
good
I
statue store.
started collecting again.
Of store.
And then I sold that collection. I had Hulk 181s, ASM
You ain't kid.
129s, stuff like that. So I sold all that stuff. But
Skeletor is awesome.
now I collect sideshow statues and stuff like that.
Nice.
And once again,
Will
I
you do
have
Bowens too?
Do what?
You do Bowen statues too? Just curiously.
Bones?
Bowen, the Bowens.
Oh yeah. I've got some Bowens too.
Yeah, those are nice.
it is so funny.
Biatch.
There's
Excuse
so
me.
much shit as collectors, as geeks that we are, that we do. People always assume that we know everything. I'm a tech, right? I'm in
They
IT.
do?
I'm in IT. So because you're in IT, everyone assumes that you know everything about IT, right?
Well,
And it's
yeah,
like,
you
no.
should. Why
Well,
don't you?
Yeah.
You don't know everything?
Kind of should if you're in the field.
No. That's
I'm
not doesn't work that way.
I own an automotive center, and people assume I know everything
You
about
know
cars.
about cars.
I'm pretty close.
See, I don't have to worry about that. I just let them know I know everything. So
This guy, what a fucker. So this is the thing. Now, there's the whole thing. Like, I'm not a card guy, right? I'm not a card guy, but Greg is, and Greg's an aficionado when it comes to video games and what to look for. Knockoffs we talked about in the green room. There's knockoff NES games that I was not aware of, but there's knockoffs. You guys just mentioned a label, a certain brand of statues. I'm not hip, right? So there's so much stuff out there that people who, if you ever want to learn or want to get into, one, it's expensive. Collecting is not cheap. Collecting is expensive. If you are either collecting like this fool down here, video games, but he flips them. If you're collecting statues like Russ over here, or if you're like Nick, who's the completist and he wants to collect every single ASM book, it's not cheap. If I want to
challenging.
it's challenging, but that's the adrenaline rush that we all get.
Gives me a reason to live.
It's the hunt,
Well, that's what we both are asked for. I work 14 hours a day, anywhere between 12 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, and I do that for years. I've had one solid day off in the last 60 days alone. And we should be able to spend our money on what we want to do. As long as your bills are paid, as long as your family's taken care of, it shouldn't be an issue. Like I'll never wrap my head around someone who can stand and fuss at a spouse because they're spending their money on comic books while they got 5 closets full of clothes in their house and shoes and shit like that. We all spend our money on stupid crap one way or the other. Yeah. Just let people enjoy it. Like I just sent you a picture, Caesar, of something that you want to talk expensive. That's expensive. I built that from the ground up. That's expensive. But that's what we bust our ass for. That's what we work for. Don't hound somebody because of what they want to spend their money on. Again, as long as the bills are paid, as long as the family's okay, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy.
Yeah.
And just let people collect what they want to collect.
That Fox body, baby.
My 92 Fox body I built. That thing was mean. I sent you a picture of the motor. Yep. Yeah, so now that's expensive.
Got one of those sitting in my shop right now.
Yeah.
I miss that car. I wish I hadn't sold that damn car. But a guy made me an offer on it at a car show I couldn't pass up. I should have, but yeah, so I mean, none of this is cheap. Most of it's fragile, extremely fragile. And it's our little piece of happiness,
It is this wall that you guys see behind me is my office. I work here. I work from home. So I work in this office every day, and every time I look up, I see this wall, and it makes me smile. Why? Because it's my shit, and I paid for it, and I worked for it, and I bought these things, and I love it, and it's what I do. My wife comes in here; she gives 2 shits about it.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a crap. She never once said how much you spend on that, or well, that the electric bill's coming up, right? I'm like, we got candles. we can live on candles for a week. I need to have that first appearance of, But
my wife does not question my collecting.
And there's many people who don't. Let's be quite honest. There are a lot of couples who just don't. But it's the stereotypical of, can I buy that book for $200? Because if my wife finds out I spent $225, she's gonna lose her shit. And it's like,
if you're not paying the bills, you should have to ask. But if you're paying the bills, you shouldn't have to ask.
Now there's that
the
meme going around that says that I'm just very not financially responsible.
Well, neither am I. But my bills are paid.
If you got the mortgage coming up and you're going, mortgage or the 181?
Yeah.
Mortgage or the 181?
181 sounds better.
I see it all the time when people buy stuff. They go, "Hey man, I want to get this, but I can't pay you till next week." Look, I'm gonna be a little harsh on this one.
Do it. I agree with you already. I already agree. Say it.
I've been in that boat. If you don't have the money to pay for something right at that very moment, don't buy it. Period. Because you're one transmission from losing your job. You're one air conditioning unit going out in your house from being severely in debt or losing your job. Because
say it loud.
But I mean, like I said, I don't mind working with people, and everybody likes to work with people. But I've been in that boat. I know what it feels like to work paycheck to paycheck. I know what it feels like to literally sit down and try to figure out how much groceries I can buy this week versus paying the water bill this week or paying the light bill because I don't have enough money on a particular situation, whether I was working construction, which, weather plays a part in that. So I know what that feels like. I understand the frustration from it, but it's definitely one of those things like, man, if you're living that tight, if you got to figure out which bills to pay versus buying a comic book or buying a piece of art, man, I'd rather you not even buy a piece of art from me at that moment. I'd rather you sit on your money just to be on the safe side. But
yeah, there's always 2 sides. Like I purchased major of my books on payment plans because people trust me, right? But it's one thing to do like, you're good, man. I'll do payment plans. But you're right. There's those people who are like, well, mortgage or the 181. Hey, honey, what's the latest we can go on the mortgage?
Yeah.
Well, there are people.
Period?
I don't think it's the people that's the mortgage or 181. It's the people who are like, hey, can you hold your $20 exclusive for me for 2 weeks? Or
Yeah.
I need
Yeah,
a pack. I need a pack of. I need a pack of. I need a pack of cigarettes.
Is that a thing
So
though? Do you guys have like people
Yeah, I've had that
ask
happen.
you to hold the $30 book and
all the time, all the time. I will
I
not
had
hold
someone the other day.
a $30 book. You need to save your $30.
I
Sorry.
had someone claim a spot on a raffle once, and when the raffle got full, and I sent it to him, say, "Hey, I need you to pay your $15. Hey,
No.
man, can I pay that next Friday?" I was like, "No, you can't. It's due now because you're the last person who hasn't paid, and I need to do the raffle and give these people their item."
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, but and I'm gonna be honest with you, like I'll work with people for payment plans. Like a lot of artists won't do that.
Sure.
I'll work with them because again, I know what that feels like to work paycheck to paycheck. But if you're in that boat, like he said, if you ain't got that $20 right that minute to pay for something you claimed, oh, please stop spending like that. Please stop.
Greg, do you get this? I'm first of all, I'm ignoring Nick, but go ahead, Greg. Do you get this as well?
Yeah, I do payment plans. Usually, not on like a $20 book. Like,
Right.
like hit me up in a week if I still have it, you can have it for $20. Usually with a payment plan, it would be something like a Hulk 181 or a GSX 1 or something. You know what I mean? Something a couple $100 or more. But if I like you, I'll do a $20 book if I like you.
I tell you what,
I'm not doing a payment plan on $30. I'm not doing it.
a dollar a day for 30 days.
No $30 book payment plan.
Plan on a $30 item, it's going to be a $70 item because there's going to be $40 of handling fees.
Yeah, there you go. I tell you what, this says something about the community and what you put into it. What I mean by that is always carry a good wrench with you so you could always fix bridges for other people. In other words, don't burn any bridges because you want to have and surround yourself by good people because you never know if Greg has that one book I want and Greg's like, yeah, I'll work with you, man. The payment plans. I know you. You're a good dude. You're very well known in the community and all that, right? So when you start being a douche and then you start building a little bad rep of, hey, can I pay you back? I'll pay you back. And then, hey, man, it's been 3 weeks, man. I'm in that thing. And next thing you know, your word, because I'll say it once again, this community is huge, but yet so small because so many people know each other.
My word is all I have.
And that's all I got. I built the rep that I have since I started getting into this whole Facebook community. I'm kind of known as a good guy.
Yeah.
But all it takes is one word of wildfire, and all of a sudden, Greg hears that Caesar kind of blows, and all of a sudden, hey, Greg, 181, huh? And you're like, yeah, sorry, pal. I don't do payment plans.
That's kind of where I'm at. I am nobody in this industry.
Well, yeah, I know. But go ahead.
Right, 100% no one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for recognizing that.
Go ahead.
The only reason I have any kind of following or anybody buys any books from me is because I'm honest and my word. That's it. It ends there. I'm not an artist. I'm not a creator. I'm not a real retailer. I'm no one. I'm just a guy that loves this community, and I will never screw somebody, and that's evident in the way I do things. So that's what I've got going for me. I just like being around it. I can't even explain really why this does what it does for me, but I just love this community, and I will never screw anybody in this community, and I want to support every aspect of it if I can.
What were you going to say, Greg, as well?
I was actually just kind of remembering back. So I just did my first exclusive with Marat, and a bunch of people did claim, the books before I got them, and I let those, I held books because there was only 50 of them. I only did like 50 of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I did hold a bunch for them, but it's different when I feel it's a collector. I know they're going to keep it. They're not just buying it for me to flip it. Yeah. So I did hold quite a few of those. Sure. But everybody paid, so that just kind of
the community, the Facebook community, and the community in IG and all that. For the most part, there are tons of Nicks. They're just guys who just collect. Yeah. They like to. Hey, if they could make a little extra money on a book because they have a dupe of it. They have a duplicate of it, and
Right.
sure, why not? I'm gonna make somebody else happy, and I'll make a few bucks.
Yeah.
The majority of the community are a bunch of Nicks and myself, and then you have the Gregs who do the sales, and you have the artists of Russell who,
Yeah.
you know, he's doing his own book, he's doing his own thing, and he makes people happy by doing badass work. But as Ish says, there's some major dicks who ruin it
Yeah.
for others because
They ruined it because people keep their mouth shut and they let it slide.
and that's the whole thing. Now the whole thing
Yep.
is that when
I'm done doing it.
when people are being dicks, right? And that 1, 2, 3 guys screwed over a bunch of people, and then when a good guy like ourselves go, hey Greg, what about payment plan? Right away you're going, you're cool and all, man, but can you do good? I don't know, man. I don't know. All of a sudden you have the doubt. The doubt is going around, and all of a sudden the doubt starts to float around. See, there you go, Nick.
Awesome.
Nick's already, he's on the ball. And all of a sudden the cloudiness starts to come on, like, where before to be like, sure, man, no problem, you're cool. But now, hey, you know, there's a lot of scammers. I talked to a guy today. I was selling my Swamp Man, my Swamp Thing 37.
That's a new book coming out.
Swamp Man, yeah, it's in Florida. So the thing is that he's like, hey, do you do goods and services? I'm like, I can, but I'm trying to save every fucking penny I have to go towards an upgrade. He's like, I'm cool then. I'm like, you know what? It's fine, man. We could do goods and services. He goes, there's a lot of scammers going on. I don't know you, and I don't blame the dude. I don't expect everyone to know me, but he's like, there's a lot of scamming going around, and I go, totally get it, man. We could totally do that. And he was cool. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll send you an extra 15 for the fee. Now that right there, what he did, he's cool with me forever, unless he screws me one day, or if I start hearing. But he's cool with me for him to go, I'm going to send you an extra 15 to cover the. I'm like, thanks, man. That's very good. You don't have to do that.
Yeah,
and that's all you need. It's the little things like that that makes your name and your reputation within the community grow to be a better person.
Right.
But yeah, we all have those dicks that are still walking around, fucking everyone over and making the newbies come in and get all spooked out.
Yeah, well, the sad thing is, the stupid thing about it is when we allow, and that's why I look at it the way I look at it now. I'm done. I'm done with worrying about rocking the boat. I'm done. You know, now I don't care if you said something about me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm fine with that. I'm too blunt. I'm too opinionated, and I don't have time for people's lazy ass cry me a river bullshit.
You're my cup of tea.
So I look at it as if you're someone that's out here, you know, scamming people, whether you're an artist or whether you're a retailer, and you're scamming people out of their actual hard-earned money, and there's proof, not hearsay, actual proof. If it involves me, I'm going to call you out. I'm done. I'm done turning the other cheek, because all it's done is protected them and allowed them to screw over more fans and more people in general. And then it makes those people nervous about doing business online, which takes money out of my pocket in the long run, as far as like, them not wanting to, I'll just catch you, I'll just catch the artist at a show. I'm not shopping. Like, I've seen those posts where this artist scammed me. It's been 5 years. They haven't done my artwork. I'm not buying nothing else online. That could have been a potential customer I could have had.
Yeah.
Now they won't take the chance because you screwed them over. So I'm sorry, I'm done with it. If you want to try to slander people, you want to try to rob people, and it happened, and I'm, in that circle somehow where I find out about it, I'm gonna put your ass on blast. Now, like I said, I don't do hearsay. It's got to be physical proof.
Right.
That's the way the rest of the community needs to start doing it. This whole shit where I'm scared, somebody might think bad of me, or they might think I'm a problem child. If anybody thinks shit on me because I called out a scammer with proof, I don't want to do business with them no damn way.
Right.
The way I look at it.
PTSD is real when it comes to many things. When it comes to collecting, when it comes to if you're in a very bad car accident, right? You don't want to drive anymore for a very long time because whatever. I got to be honest. Every single time I feel any pain in my chest, I freak the fuck out.
Yep.
And it could be heartburn. It could be I pull the muscle. but right away I'm like, I get that PTSD, and all of a sudden I get all these synapses of my flashbacks when I was having my heart attack and all that shit.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with comic book collecting, especially if you got burned. And when someone goes, "Hey, you want to do a deal?" and you're like, "I don't know, man." All of a sudden you start getting sweaty palms and start getting all frustrated. And that's why I always tell people, listen, not everyone's a dick. And there's a lot of newbies out there who just want to either trade or buy a book. I always tell people, do the vouch. If you're part of the 400 communities out there, just say, "Hey, can anyone vouch for me or anyone know this guy?" And everyone goes, "I don't know who the hell that is." Does it mean he's a dick? No. But it's like, did his profile just started last week and he has 2 first names? I don't know. I'm just
that just means wait a while.
Or he's got 10 friends.
He has 10 friends and they're all from Nigeria. I would probably
where you been.
I saw.
And unless you know them, stop paying with friends and family.
That's the other thing too.
Yeah, don't ever pay with friends and family unless you know them very well.
The guy. So that's why that guy today, I was like, "That's cool, man. I get it. You don't know me from Adam. I'll pay it, right?" Yep. So I just my favorite one I just recently saw one of the scamming posts. Somebody put in, "Watch this guy. It's total fake profile," and the profile pic was of the actor from Green Arrow.
Checks out.
So that was a profile pic with, like, it was a candid picture with him and his wife or some girl, right? And then I started going, and I looked it up, and it's the guy who played the Green Arrow.
Wow.
But it was a whole different name. And I'm going, do your due diligence, people, and if it looks weird, don't buy a book from them. People have gone creative. They Photoshop a coin name. Hey, can you coin that book? Sure, Photoshop.
There's some
my name.
Have you guys seen some of the ones that people put out there thinking that they'll just put like a huge coin next to the book?
With the same coin in?
But an actual coin?
An actual coin.
Just a picture of a Photoshop coin over top of the book. Like, there's some really bad ones.
Oh my god. That I feel like deserves some props. Like, you should clap for those people. It's like Nick, they're trolling you.
Nick, you're gonna love this. My favorite was when somebody coined their name and they printed out the book on a paper, like a 181. They did a printout and they put it laying down on the table, and there was a little askew, and they put their name next to it, and it was obviously a paper printout of the book.
Oh my god. I'm gonna start doing that for all my ads.
I tell you what,
stock photo, and they claim theirs is in away or something. That's the other one.
One of our buddies
out in the statue groups.
They do that a lot too, right? They stock photos.
Yep, and you'll see that in the statue groups a lot. Oh, here's a stock photo. Mine's just boxed away. I only opened it one time. That's my favorite. Whether you're a comic shop or a private person, that's my favorite.
Oh my god!
It's brand new in box. I only opened it to put it on the shelf for display. That's what comic shop is. Then the other one is, I only opened it once to make sure it wasn't damaged, but here's a stock photo. I got a new flash for you. If that damn box has been opened, it ain't new no more. I don't care if you're private or your comic shop. That's not new no more.
Brand new condom. I only used it to have sex once.
Only once.
But it's back in the wrapper though.
I sealed it with some hot.
I bought this $800 statue, and I only opened it once to make sure it was all there.
Oh my god!
But
I only opened it to take it out of the box.
Now it's used.
one of the buddies, Pedro Cruz, good guy in Florida, he was going around going, "Don't buy anything from this guy because he stole my picture from my post and posting it as his own because he uses a specific like paper on the background, and it's like obvious. It's and just all of a sudden this picture going around going, yeah." And the other mistake, this is like a noob hour for all you newbies who are like, I'm getting new to collecting. If someone is selling a 181,
you just need to drop.
We're not worthy.
Drop the hammer. If someone's selling a 181 for 4.5, selling it for $800,
I'll take it.
It's not real. It's
Yeah,
Sign me up.
You got to use some common sense. You got to, because even if somebody, let's Hulk 181 6.5 Blue Label slab right now is around $3,500 book, give or take. It's dropped down tremendously from what it was a year and a half ago. Even someone who is desperate for money, like something bad has happened, they need the damn cash immediately. They're not going to post that book for $800.
No.
They'll post that $3,500 book for like $3,000, and someone will buy it almost immediately.
Yep.
So you got to use some damn common sense with it, man. You have to.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's so let's talk about this for a little bit.
OnlyFans?
No, I got canceled.
If you want to know how to take 3 hours to drive a third of a mile to get a steak, you could ask both of us.
Oh my God, that was insane.
all the love of steak. So we're starting to notice. I'm noticing that the market, and Greg, you could speak to this. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
I've noticed that the market is starting to actually, it is really correcting itself. It's actually picking up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going up a little for bigger books.
The high-end stuff, I'm noticing it's picking up, and that it's always like a trickle-down effect.
Right.
Now, there have been a couple sales recently that have kind of slid. That Tales of Suspense 39, that 9.8 that just sold.
Yeah,
the guy lost his pants on that one. I think he bought it for like $2 million and sold it for $800,000 just last week.
Yeah, $850 something.
Yeah, but when did he buy it? During COVID?
Yeah, or 2021.
He shouldn't have been buying shit during
22.
COVID.
but you can't say that for the guy who just sold that.
Yeah,
that $6 million
record-breaking sale by far.
8.5
But that's a whole different ball.
pedigree. That's 8.5 pedigree though, man. First
That's
appearance of Superman. You can't compare that to anything.
Because what was great on that book? That book was like stupidly high quality.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, reportedly, people were saying that they could crack and press it and get a higher grade out of it. I don't know who's got the balls to do that.
Oh, I wouldn't touch it. What was that?
Don't touch a $6 million book. What are you fucking retarded?
That's why it hasn't been messed with yet. But
holy shit,
that it could be bumped if somebody so wanted to.
Wait, hold on. So it was an 8.5. How much did it sell for again?
$6 million.
$6 million. Okay, you're saying that someone would have the balls to crack that and try to bump it?
I don't think anyone would.
No, the person who bought it might, because you have $6 million to spend on a comic. I'm pretty sure he has enough money to mess around with it.
What I'm saying is, you look at the book, you can see there's pressable defects.
Oh, 100%.
It's a known thing that they could press it and get a higher grade out of it, but I doubt anybody does it.
Yeah.
It's just like a known thing.
99 DSX.
DSX, that means in like true grading, that's probably a 7.5.
So, I waited, right? I've been waiting to get William on the show. I finally get to open this. I'm waiting for the next one, issue number 5. So this is 1 through 4.
I'm waiting for my poocher to get here.
Psycho Sal. But
poocher?
Yeah, I got a medal.
Did you?
You shipped it?
I love this shit.
Oh, I did? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if I shipped it.
I love this stuff, dude. I love little fucking trinkets of the fucking book. That's why you back Kickstarter.
Hold on, Dale, let me see.
The wrong person. This is why you back Kickstarter, because the little trinkets like this.
Nice.
I love
it. We actually do some cool little trinkets.
And look at this one.
Yeah.
Number 1. Yeah, that's still the. I gotta tell you, William, that's probably still one of my favorites. Believe it or not, the good old number 1.
I'm waiting on number 5, and I think he already shipped out, right, Will? And
I know all of issue number 5. I've got the last 20 books that will go to the post office in the morning, and then the only thing I have left are just the like 8 or 10 piles that has to have the metals, the foils, and the glow in the darks, and I'm picking those up while I'm in Texas tomorrow.
Oh, you have some glow in the darks?
I know. In the Kickstarter, he hit a certain threshold, and we got koozies. And I think somebody backed out, and Art, and then Will was like, "Fuck it, I'm still gonna honor that shit." that's why we had to wait a little longer. And he
Yeah.
finally got those. So I got a koozie coming my way.
Yep. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, the so what happened on that one, issue number 5, we actually hit, and so let me preface this so people understand. So that's what.
There we go.
Yeah.
So issue number 5, we hit like 8,700. Now, for some people in the audience, they might be going, "Oh, that's not a lot of money." In the horror community, when you're doing a horror comic, that actually is a huge number in general for Kickstarter numbers. And it's also huge in general in the fact that we do $10, $15 books, with a couple of high-end books sprinkled in. So we're not doing like most Kickstarters where it's $30 for the cheapest book on the Kickstarter. If we were doing that, playing that game, Psycho Sal would be doing, $20,000, $25,000 Kickstarters. But we hit that number, and sadly, on the very last day, we had about 4 or 5 people that dropped out, and a couple of those people had grabbed some of those high-end, rare one-of-one books, and we lost like almost $900 on the last day. So that dropped us under the $8,000 stretch goal, which was the koozies, and at that day I was kind of annoyed and pissed off, and everybody was so damn like heartbroken about the koozies, even though I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but to a lot of people, they hated that they weren't going to get it. So I told everybody, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll pay to have the things printed at $2 and some change a piece, and I paid to had 103 printed to send out for the backer. So. So everybody gets their
great shipping, by the way. That was a good shipping. So
thank you.
Shout out there.
I like the. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Go on, Bill.
That's the booze
Oh, the Miku Suyon cover. I like that one.
Yeah.
Oh, the Miko Suyan cover is good. I'm not gonna lie, that one is pretty cool.
Oh, sure, my bad.
Oh, the Miko cover?
Yeah, the Miko
I'm
cover.
not gonna lie, that was one of the ones I liked the most. The Miku cover.
I like
that-
the NES game with the stick with the Psycho Sal on it.
The 8-bit
Yeah,
one.
that was his black and white with a splash of color. I actually kept a couple of these for my own personal self.
Yeah, the Miko Suyan cover is pretty
Nice.
So,
cool. Dale, did you you want to do the before we get going, or do you want to?
Oh yeah, the Joker trailer. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, that's
like
pretty
that.
cool. So is that
That's
a?
awesome.
That's
all right,
awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Okay,
You need to get an actual game in that thing.
did you see the VHS?
Yeah, the VHS is kind of cool too.
That's the one a lot of people really like too.
Let's show it. Let the man show his stuff.
What we showing? What we
Oh,
VHS?
Yep. Oh, you know the VHS tape? Russell?
Huh? Yeah.
You got a VHS?
Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah,
Show it.
Dell's
Show it.
he's looking. He's gonna charge up the Joker trailer.
I think I
Trivia question. What does VHS stand for?
Video home system.
Wow. You just taught me something.
I thought it was. I mean, am I right or am I wrong? Let me see. Where's my phone at?
I have no idea. I just thought I'd ask.
Oh, I know. I'm just waiting for you. I know what it is.
So pretty much every Kickstarter since that one, we've been doing this 80s
What
throwback.
does VHS stand for?
There it is.
Oh, that's about us.
Yeah, he even has like a blockbuster
Psycho Sal.
Psycho Soul.
Now,
I was
Psycho
correct.
Soul.
dude.
Thank
you. The
Very
cover art
much.
that goes in the wraparound
Yeah,
sleeve.
that's
I don't
pretty
have
cool.
those yet. I got to pick them up in Texas. But that's what the cover art looks like that goes on the VHS tape.
Hi.
Hey, well, what does
my word.
VHS stand for?
Psycho Sal. Thank you very much.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster
Right there,
card.
Blockbuster.
Yeah,
So
you know
Hell
what
yeah.
that does?
That's awesome.
That card
Uh,
gets you free signatures for life.
do you? Does it really?
Yep.
Yeah, I already know Will. So-
I already get
Ain't no
those.
damn body done that.
Well, we already know William. We just get it for free. That's,
Yep. If you bought that VHS tape on the Kickstarter, and you show that card anywhere you see me at any show, the books you bring to me, past the first 2 I signed at shows are free anyway,
boom, there you go.
but it gets you free signatures.
Keep that
It's a
shit.
free signature.
Keep that shit in your wallet, because if you see Russell like at Walmart and you show him, he
yeah,
can like
true.
he can
Sign
your back.
my Pampers, baby.
I sure can.
All right.
All right. All right, let's get this going. We're winding down, but this is the finale here. We want to see this.
Winding down. Dale just got here.
You can sign my gallon of milk.
Hey, Fleck, you got a joke for us today?
This is gonna make me cry.
Nah, bro, it's annoying because
We
it's
use
like
music
a story.
to make us whole,
I cry easily.
to balance the fractures within ourselves.
I'm nobody. I haven't done anything with my life like you have.
Harlequin.
Let's get out of here.
I'm ready to stop watching it.
What the world needs now is a love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just to live a life. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Fucking Gaga.
What's changed, Arthur? I'll tell you what's changed. I'm not alone anymore. That's what we should be talking about.
I want to see the real you.
Nice.
I haven't seen that one. I saw the
Yeah.
other. I saw the
I
other
wanna
trailer.
s-
But
I can't wait to
tell you,
watch that. I can't wait to watch that.
So honestly, if this movie didn't have the name Joker on it, I would be really intrigued in watching it. I'm like, oh,
I
okay,
would still,
let's see
I would
it.
watch it whether it
And
was
look at-
Joker or not.
I just hate the fact that the backstory. I haven't seen it yet. All right, I'm not gonna. You're right. I'm still gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna go watch it in theaters. Or wait until streams. But it looked interesting. I said back. You know what? I don't want to hear it immediately, but it looks interesting to me if it was like a regular movie about two psychotic, people, and they do all this bullshit. But
I
now,
thought this was a show about positivity.
yes,
Oh, you forgot. You're in the comic.
Yeah,
book.
she was Eli.
Eli. She was his psychiatrist.
Yeah, like I say, it's knowing that. Okay, for a person that doesn't know comics or the backstory of Harley, right? BA12 is one of my books that is my grail.
But you
Kinda
have it.
ruin- You think,
Have you read it?
fuck. Huh? The book? Yeah, I did read it. So
Okay.
that's one of the few books I have read, but I read it digitally. Caesar has not read any of his fucking grails.
Like
So
you read it
that-
with your fingers digitally?
Yeah. Yeah, digitally.
I'll never read it in my grills. I can't.
Hey, and you know what's funny? I asked Will, hey Will, can I share the PDF files for a couple of books for Caesar so he can read it? And he still doesn't want to read it, Will. I'm telling you.
What are you talking about? You never said
Wow.
it. Wow.
Gave him a free
Well,
book. Gave him free
Well,
access
that's
to the
bullshit. Look at
original.
Dell. Look at Dell. Look, he's lying.
But I
like a
can't get you to
motherfucker.
read the book so I can hear your honest.
I would send me the PDF. I'll read it. I have no problem reading it. Dell never asked me about that. What a douche.
I just wanted to fuck you up. But I do have them now. That's why
Mine's
I
too
got a
special
copy.
to read.
Oh, the metal one?
It's not metal, but it's
You
it's
know,
a
oh.
rare gold foil.
The thing about this Joker movie,
I'm not touching it.
what's
Stays
turning
in the comic
people off-
capsule.
What's turning people off is the fact that they're going to have 15 musical. They're going to be 15 songs that are already popular. They're going to redo them, and it's considered sort of a musical. The whole film. That's what people are like. Right. I mean, do we want to deal with that? Once again, fucking watch it first, and then
it's gonna-
talk about it. Let's see what
It's
happens.
gonna be awesome.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. It depends on how they handle the musical part. If it's a musical situation to where it's played into the psychosis of one of them or both,
that's what it will be.
It could be, like I said, the most important thing with this movie is you got to go watch this movie for what it is. You can't, just like the first one, you can't go in there thinking it's going to be a Batman movie.
No, it's not.
Or really even a Joker movie. You got to watch it for what it is, and that's just dealing with mental illness.
Right. It's like the development of the character is what it is.
When people think of musicals, they first right away think of Les Miserables. So they're talking and singing the whole thing. It's obviously not that type of movie.
Well, that was Les Miserables for me to watch.
Yeah. No, when you're talking about that, I was assuming it was be like Cats. You know how that was with the live action Cat. That was fucking horrible.
We didn't watch that shit. Dale.
I had to watch it to get my opinion on certain things.
No, you didn't. I have an opinion, and I didn't see 1 second of it.
Well, good thing you didn't waste your time on it. Honestly, it was a really it's horrible. It looked weird. It looked fucking weird. Go ahead, Strick. Sorry.
Wasn't that talk show host guy in that?
Did everybody like the first Joker?
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
It was great. It was awesome.
I liked it.
I went into the first Joker with the sense of, again, lock your inner fanboy up and go watch the movie for what it is. Like, I ignored the fact it was, named Joker. And in my opinion, it was a damn good movie. Like I said, it really put some light on how we as a society treat people that deal with mental illness.
What was the movie I watched right when I got back from MegaCon after hanging out with you? Transylvania.
Y'all having fucking sleepover at MegaCon or something?
What was it? Transylvania 65000 or something?
Yeah, Transylvania
one of the best movies of all time.
This guy's taste in movies you cannot trust, because it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, but I'm glad I saw it.
He was sending a text, "Oh my God, Gina Dave's so fine." No, my movies are all over the place. I watch everything from classic 20s and 30s black and white all the way up to romantic comedy, action. My movie palette's all over the place.
I'm glad I watched it.
I don't stand in one little lane of I got to watch all action movies. Mine's all over the place.
Oh, now you show up, Robert. Where were you when we needed some information about William Russell and Ask-K Apadubadudi? Whatever his fucking name is.
Abracadabra.
That guy, Ask-K Apadubi. But I don't know how to say his last name. I mean, I would say no offense because I usually butcher names, but
that sounded like a whole lot of racism.
No, it's something like Ashke Biondiani or something like that.
Ashtray. There you go.
There you go. Ashtray. Yeah,
Ashtray is all we need to say because he's a piece of shit.
Was that his name he was going by?
No.
Ask-K Babadidi is his real name, but he's gone by Jerome Smith.
Yeah.
Ken loves comics.
Jerome Smith.
Yeah. There's like three other names, and they
Silver Age Comics UK. That's his IG.
Silver Age Comics UK on Instagram.
Yeah. But I guess he deactivated his account. So.
Fuck that guy.
He'll vanish for about 3 months. He'll come up with a new name. He'll bounce back in, and there'll be a handful of people that won't say shit about it. Let it slide, even though they know who he is, and then
he went to IG. It doesn't have it on Facebook, so that's why oh shit, it happened over there. So what happened was, I'm gonna just give you a little breakdown. There's this Ken Loves Comics, right? He followed Marvel Comics. After a while, he reached out to him. Hey, how can I make you a deal for the ASM #1? Blah blah blah. X amount. I'll claim it in your show. He said, yeah. Boom. He claims it. Hey, my friend over here, Silver Age UK, Silver Age Comics UK. He owes me money. He'll pay you through PayPal. Well, and the guy knows who he is. I'm like, you know who he is, right? He's a scammer. Blah blah. They went back and forth. I'm like, all right. I'll let him pay me. Boom. So the guy is like, all right, so the money went in $3,000 easily for down payment, and then I think 2 days later he sends another $5,500. But everything's going good. He sends one more payment in, and all of a sudden there is a PayPal thing saying, "Hey, I want my money back," or so they gave him the fucking money back immediately, and that's when he was putting two together, and then he tried like, "Hey, let me voice chat you so I can prove that you're innocent." I'm not voice chat, video chat. He didn't want to do it, and the reason why he kind of figured that he was Ash Kate was that he used the word favor. Us Americans, we spell it Favor. British people spell it Favour.
Mhm.
Right? That was the first trigger. That's when he asked him to video chat, and then he didn't want to do it. He voice chatted, but he had that accent, and he tried to talk real fast. Yeah, that's when he put two together. Fuck, you know what I mean? So that's when he's putting that person on blast. That's Ash Cray. So we figured out they figured out that's the new account.
Yeah.
Again, we were, not to down the guy that sold the book, but if you're selling a book to somebody, you have to sell it to like a valid address. If someone else is paying, it's going to come up as a different address. So what you got to do in that situation, if maybe this does come up, this is a real thing that someone owes you money, send the money to the person that's buying the book, and then they'll send it to you. That's
yeah. I agree, and he was able. As of right now, he reached out to the USPS and intercepted them.
Yeah.
I let him the information. Hopefully, he'll get his book back in a couple of days. We'll update next week. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. Will brought it up earlier how we bring people in and certain people let people come in that don't know. Like, I'm fairly new still. Well, at this point, I'm not really that new. But at the point, like 2 years ago, I was kind of new, and Gio fucking promising me this and this and that. He already had put $100 on the event we had. Hey, on each one of these, I'm putting $100 bid on each thing. Oh, badass! We had a big ass event. Remember, Caesar? It was for veterans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, bro. Then like, after the show, I get messages from everybody about this guy. This is like, fuck. At this point, I already had promised to be on an exclusive. I already have money invested.
How have I never heard of this guy?
Oh, it's because you're Nick.
Technically, Nick, technically you're kind of new, right? So you wouldn't.
This is when you took a break for Team Waffles, and
I've been doing this shit for 5 years, man.
Yeah, but you were doing a lot of Waffles. You weren't doing exclusives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was new to exclusives too. At that point, I was like my first big exclusive. Actually, my first exclusive ever. I was like, oh, badass. And we was for the podcast. I was like, oh, excited. But then I heard, I'm like, so instead of promoting them, I just stayed back and I waited because I wanted to make sure I got my money, and I didn't want to out the guy before I got my money. I didn't get my money, but I put out of the 1,100 that he put on the event, I put in 600. He put in 495. So I paid $600 from my pocket to put into the event that I owed, but I was paying in payments, so I was like, yeah, it's whatever. I was working with Whatnot at the moment, so I was okay. I had money, I wasn't worried about it. I know we brought up Whatnot earlier. Whatnot has these rules where they won't ban somebody unless they do something bad on their thing, because they'll raise legal action against them. Like, why would you ban me for something that you have no proof of from Facebook? And I did nothing wrong on your profile. What rules did I break? Whatever. It's like, yeah, I know it's a moral compass, but it was like
we're not talking about hearsay, though.
Oh, I know, but like
keep that separate. We're not talking about hearsay. We're talking about people being outed with physical, actual proof that they screwed people.
So the thing is, the people on Facebook that were looking were me, Robert, and some other people. But we weren't part of the company at that moment. You know what I mean? So we give them this information, and I'm like, they're not going to believe us, or they're not going to take us, by our word until I actually started working for them. That's when I kept telling this stuff. There were so many things, so many shit I saw, and I gave them, oh, we can't do anything yet.
What's up, Ryan?
I was like, they had to wait so much. I mean, there is so much. I have friends still in the trust and safety, and I gave them all this information. Like my guy, my what's it called? My head guy doesn't want to do anything yet. Oh yeah, I was like, you know what? At this point, I don't care anymore. I was already pretty much gone with Whatnot, so I was like,
it's fine. People have their rules, how they have their rules, and that's fine. But let's just be honest here. At the end of the day,
fuck that.
You're not banning someone because they're making your money. That's why you don't want to ban them.
Yeah.
Even though with proof, you don't want to ban them until it's in your backyard and they screwed up on your platform, which makes you liable for what they did. So if you allow someone, Nick,
bringing in that money.
That's why a lot of us left, and we're starting our own.
Money
our own
pays for morality.
Personally, it's
It
not
sucks.
hard to be a good person. It's not hard. It's not hard not to rob people. So, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not going back. That's their platform. They run it however they want. But if the only time you're going to stand your ground is once they shit in your backyard, and you want to ignore the proof while they've crapped all over other people, I don't know. But
yard poop.
Nick,
what's up?
Let me see what Nick wants to say, because apparently he needs to say something. What's up, Nick?
No, I'm good. I just said yard poop.
I want to get y'all's perspective of this. There was a post, some drama, there was a post about a certain person goes, hey, if you need to sexualize women to make it into the field, you really didn't make it. And there was some back and forth with two creators. What? Yeah, that's what they said. And
I can tell you right now, even though I do believe some people crutch on TNA too much in comics, it still doesn't. That guy that's trying to play White Knight and shit, I'd love to see his computer search history. Because I guarantee if anyone screaming that damn loud is probably looking at some stuff that would put him in jail.
Women are
your thing, but
updating themselves, yeah.
Women are what men want. Sorry.
It sells. And don't get it twisted. It sells to females just as much as it does to men.
Yeah. I think that goes back to the collect what you like kind of thing, right?
It goes, listen, the Naughty and Nice does nothing for me. But once again, I'm not going to talk shit about you who buy it. Once again, if that's
right, Ryan.
That's what you get. Now, Ryan's a very good example of never does he never does the nude. He does stuff tastefully in her clothes and stuff like that. That's fine. Oh my gosh.
But he does draw 10, sir.
Straight up TNA. Even if you're doing a book that, even though it's not my cup of tea, and I don't have a problem with porn or nothing like that, but I just like comic books to be comic books. I don't care about TNA covers. I don't care about that. But even the books that is, a Hustler magazine from cover to cover on the inside, even though it's not my thing, it's irrelevant. You walking around trying to bash people for what they're creating or what they're doing, as long as they're not hurting no one, as long as they're not showing certain people in a certain light they shouldn't, age stuff, things like that, leave them alone. Because I'm sorry, when I look at TikTok and I look at all this other shit and there's sexualized cleavage hanging out every damn where, bouncing boobs and every damn thing else, and they're cross-eyed with the tongue hanging out, they ain't nobody sexualizing nobody no more. So it's all, everybody's doing it.
Yeah,
so
I thought it was like needless attention or drama. Like, you're not really doing anything other than, causing issues among yourself. Like, people are not, people are going to be like, oh, you're right. You have the right to your opinion, which is true. But now you're going to have people not wanting to work with you. Like, why would I want to not work with this guy? He doesn't even, like, I don't know. At the indie industry, in the indie comics I've seen, half of them are either going to be nude and Playboy or TMNA, whatever. Other half is going to be horror. I think those are the two main things that actually make money. And I feel like it was extra. It wasn't needed. And there's been shows and podcasts about it, talking about it. And they're talking it with the Wheelers. And, I was told not to talk about them. I'm sorry, whoever told me not to talk about them. It was quite a few people. But how can you say you're a white knight but jump on a Wheelers fucking podcast? I don't. That didn't get to me. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Well, she's as guilty of it too, though. I watched her up until the point I blocked them. I watched her jumping on people's posts where they were doing covers of topless girls or whatever, and she was trying to bash them for doing it. And she literally has a book called Boobies.
Boobs, yeah.
How the hell are you saying any damn thing to anybody? You know, but that's two drama ass people if I've ever seen any that is just incredibly.
I'm gonna move on.
I mean,
I don't want to give any more attention, man. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So let's move on to I think one more topic at least before we shut it down. I'm sorry it was late. Like I said, my voice is still kind of raspy, but I had a good fucking time. My son had a good time. I'm always repping them right here. Both of my boys. So I had a good time. I was telling Caesar since like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I might be late to these shows. I might even show up. I have Greg fill in for me or James from, but I invited Will on here and Nick, so I want to make sure I got on here out of respect. Like here, I'm the one that brought you here, so I wanted to be on the show at least for like 30 minutes. I know I saw something when I was there. I'm like, damn, it got really good. If I was here, I would have brought this up. I was thinking in my head. So, but it was a great show so far. Was there? Did you sell out already of the fucking the Power Ranger ones? The pool?
It's almost. The pre-sale went up yesterday morning, and I touched base with the retailer right before I came on with you guys, and it's over halfway sold out.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
That was a cool cover. I like the Reacher one. I like that, but I like this one more. I was like, when I shared it, right? I remember I was telling Will in the morning, like, I'm sorry that they're commenting on my post. You got to.
That's fine.
You have to go back.
That's no big deal.
I'm a big fan of the Reacher one. Poocher. Nice.
Thank you.
Big
I like
fan.
the World of Warcraft one. That's the one I really like.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that now that I bring up, people don't like poop, but it fucking sells. Like, what can you do?
Obviously,
It
people
sells.
like it.
I like the simplicity covers. I like the Poocher is very simple. I like the Reacher show too, so it's good.
The Greg one.
Bro,
Yeah, Nick,
Greg's is fire, dude. It's nice and simple. It's what is that? Spawn 177 or 77?
77, yeah.
That's a great cover, man. That came out perfect. Yeah. I love it.
I'm of the age. I grew up on Weird Al Yankovic. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, me too.
The parodies.
I love the parody stuff. It's great.
I forgot y'all are old fuckers here.
And once again, it all depends, right? Whether it be Naughty and Nice, whether it be Pooh, whether it be Tingleverse, the ponies, whatever it is. Once again, fucking buy what you want. Who cares what everybody else thinks? It's not your money.
Yep.
They're not going to your bank account, stealing your money and buy Pooh books and Naughty Nice books or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. All right. These guys are having fun doing it. The artists are having a blast drawing it. Who cares? Support who you want to support, and that's all it is.
Exactly.
Sometimes it makes it easier for me that I'm glad I don't read, because if I did read, I'll be buying so much stuff. You know, if I was a completist, I'll be buying so many things. But the fact that I'm laser focused on certain,
you have no idea.
It's a little easy on the pocketbook, but not really, because blue chips are not cheap. So it's ebb and flow. But regardless, people, fucking just buy, support who you want to support. No need to talk shit about anybody who buys, sells, deals, whatever it is. Just do it. All right. Stop
and leave damn artists alone. You know, we're out here trying to grind and trying to pay our bills and trying to do our things. And, you know, we get asked to draw some of these covers sometimes for stuff that we may not have really an interest in other than the business side of it. You know, don't jump in our damn PMs telling, and the same thing goes for any artist out that's been around 15, 20 damn years. I don't give a shit about your opinion. All right. So sending me a PM telling me, oh, you know, doing those types of books going to hurt you. I don't give a shit. Leave people alone. You know, we're trying to make our way through all of this. You've already made it. You're already out there. Leave us alone. You know, leave people alone. Let them collect what they want. Let artists draw whatever covers they're paid to draw without some kind of damn harassment from somebody. Now, if you want to go to your page and share on your page, oh, I don't understand it, or oh, I wouldn't do it if I were doing it. Sure, knock yourself out. But stay off of our page or stay out of our PMs, and you know, and stop harassing people when they post something they're happy about. Just like Nick, when he had what's his name at MegaCon redraw, I think it was Spider-Man on the Gambit book.
Yeah.
And
I got my balls busted about that,
how
dude.
he wasted his money and shit like that. And
oh yeah,
you know, I mean, if you're not paying somebody's bills, sit down, and shut up.
I got busted over that. And
Oh,
you know
that's
what?
right.
Somebody offered me money for it that I could
Yeah,
not refuse.
who cares?
So sorry.
That was 2 megacons ago, wasn't it?
No,
No,
this
it was
is
this
Last
year.
Instagram.
or this year. I mean,
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What did I miss? Maybe I'm
Oh,
thinking.
we had a Gambit number
I
one.
had Scott Hanna draw Spider-Man over the gold Gambit. I bought a gold Gambit from a dude that came by our booth,
Yeah.
sold it to me.
Yeah.
I bought it. I bought it to Scott Hanna, and where Gambit is on the cover, he kind of is doing like a Spidey pose, and
Okay.
I had him just turn Gambit into Spider-Man
All right.
on the cover, and I submitted it to CBCS.
And you got shit over that?
Greg saw it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
One
I got
guy,
so much
yeah.
shit for that. Everybody's like, "Why the fuck did you do that? It makes no sense." And guess what? I sold it for $500. So
Yep.
Boom. There you
on
go.
accident, it wasn't even for sale.
It's
Somebody
cheap.
just contacted me and they're like, "Dude, I'll give you $500 for it right now." I was like,
But you know
"Okay."
what? Wasn't there a couple Batman books that Stan Lee signed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay.
yeah.
Bring up.
It's
is-
interesting. It was fun, and I can't wait to see Scott Hanna again because I'm gonna bring him another fucking Gambit book and have him do the same
What-
thing
what-
again.
That's
what
the
did
thing
he say?
too is Stan Lee signed pretty much any Marvel book, and he would sign any Image book or any book you brought him. But people get a lot of crap for that. Oh, Stan Lee didn't create this character. Stan Lee didn't write this story.
So what?
That's what they want. They wanted it to get signed by Stan Lee.
Yep.
They find it funny that Stan Lee signed a Batman book.
Yeah, it's great.
To
I
me,
think
it's
that's
almost
awesome.
satire. It's like it makes no sense, and that's why it's kind of funny.
So you guys know I'm a big Spawn guy. There's a bunch of Spawn 1 signed by Stan Lee out there.
Well, you know, the amalgam
Awesome.
books they did that time, you know, wasn't Stan Lee involved in that amalgam stuff a little bit? Or am I
Oh, the
wrong?
crossover?
Probably.
And
Yeah.
they're supposed to be coming back in the summer.
And look
For
at
some
me,
reason,
who's
I was
my
thinking
dark
he was
one.
involved in that, like wrote one of the stories or something. I could be remembering that wrong. That was so long ago, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's my damn book. If I want to have the janitor down at the 7-Eleven sign the damn thing, that's my choice.
I don't. Man, you know what, man? People love to fucking bitch for the sake of listen to me.
Do y'all see this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for this to come back. I really
I
can't.
just hope it's violent as shit, because if they try to, if they keep it the way it was when it comes to the tone of violence, because trying to keep Punisher from being a non-violent show, I don't want to watch it.
Impossible.
It's like trying to watch Scarface. When the first time I saw it on like Channel 7 in LA, I was like, what the hell is that? You're gonna really put Scarface on regular TV? Scarface? That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. You ever hear someone go, "Why don't you stick your head up a toilet, see if it fits?" Yes, stick your head up a toilet, see if it fits. I don't think he said that in the real movie.
No.
All right. So with that being said, it is a 2-hour mark, but I am gonna go ahead and go one by one. I'm gonna go with Nick first. He's
Go
already
ahead,
showing
Nick.
something. So you go ahead and promote whatever you need to promote, Nick.
That's a little quick shout out to Ernest McClendon. That's an original piece I just got from him.
Very nice. Very nice.
You guys know him, Ernest McClendon, badass. That's apparently going to be a cover. Anyway, have a good night. This was fun.
This guy.
That's it. Damn.
The fact
That's
that we've
it.
had-
More.
the
The
fact that
comic
we've had-
corner, nothing like that.
Yeah, man. I'm an official partner with the Comic Corner now, and I already worked for them before. Now I work with them, and it's going to be fun. I'm at my automotive repair shop. I'm clearing out a spot in my shop that is going to be the actual Comic Corner brick and mortar store. So I'll have a comic books shop at my automotive shop. It's kind of interesting. And
So does that mean you're going to bring some of us in for a signing event?
that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to
There
do
you go.
car shows with a comic convention at my shop, because it's
Russell,
an
he's gonna rotate
8,000
your-
square foot shop, so I got room.
Russell, he's gonna rotate your tires while you're actually doing
Absolutely.
signatures.
While you're
That
doing
works.
signings, we'll be doing oil changes.
Ooh.
But that's
I'll
the plan.
find a
Yes,
local-
I do want things to get like that, and
I'll find
hopefully,
a cat for you.
Mr.
Oh
Mr.
my
Ha,
God,
Mr.
did you-
Ha can be involved in that somehow too, because he's in
Hey,
Florida.
Will, doesn't Psycho Sal kill with a
Tire
what's it called?
iron?
Tire iron?
No, there's
Perfect.
There,
You can
I
sign
think there's
those
one
there, too.
scene in the book where that kind of happens, but it was a
Flashback.
High bar.
Dude,
No,
you can
it was,
sign tools,
yeah, there was
cars,
just a moment of
tits.
what-
That would be cool
Yeah,
though. If he
whatever.
kills with a tire iron, then you
I don't
go
know.
to
You
it.
have to go read the book and see.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm doing a whole mishmash mosh of that shit, so it's
Good.
gonna be fun. Comic Corner is now realistic auto repair.
I'm
on Comic
just,
Corner.
I'm
one
just
place.
surprised that we've had Nick on the show twice in
It's
a
the
year.
third time.
Oh, that's right. You did the bracket. That's right. You did the
I
bracket.
did the first show.
He was one of the first shows. Yeah,
He
exactly.
was the first show. Yeah.
Was part of the
Okay,
first show.
don't pay him no attention, Nick. He can't remember how many shows you've been on. He couldn't remember my name when the show started.
They don't. He
And-
doesn't care
and
about
they can't
anything.
even remember the horror movies they're trying to talk about.
Caesar only cares about Caesar. It's fine.
Greg is next.
Whoever Caesar is, that guy's a douche.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Into Caesar.
Check me out on socials. Like I say, at I Like Collectibles. I'm featured in the Whatnot Con on Friday. I'm going to be doing an all spawn sale. I have about 400 books loaded up for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be live for about 12 hours. It's going to be a long day.
Damn.
And I haven't shown anybody this yet. I'm going to show you guys right now. Murat and I came up with another new book. This is going to be
second one. Let me see that.
Yeah, this is my second book that Murat did for me. We're gonna be hopefully it's here tomorrow. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, so I'll have this for Whatnot Comics. It's gonna be the exclusive for it. See if you guys can see it. It's
there you go. Oh, that looks awesome.
Awesome.
Hold on. And then we're gonna
we're doing
the negative and then the regular.
negative.
That would be
Good
something.
for you, man.
I like it.
Yeah, check it out. I Like Collectibles on pretty much all platforms.
I like collectibles.
So I'm excited about that.
I like collectibles too.
I like Greg. Greg's a good guy, man.
Oh, whatever.
He's a nice man.
What
He
a
is
kid,
nice.
man.
What a nice chat.
All right, well, your turn.
Let's see. You can catch me on Instagram and Facebook at Art of William Russell. I do have my website finally up and running. I should have done that 3 years ago, but
finally.
www.artofwilliamrussell.com. There's actually a sale going on for the month of April for commissions for the last few spots I have open on my commission list. I'll be at Investabilia in Allen, Texas this weekend for a Comic-Con appearance. Then I'll be home for a weekend, and then the next weekend after that, I'll be in Wyoming, Casper, Wyoming for Wyoming Pop Culture Con. Yep.
Dude, they hit me up too, Will, to go over there, but like I don't have the money to
Should
go.
have went. You should have went.
I'm thinking about it, but that sucks.
But yeah, you can check me out on social media on that stuff. Psycho Sal is my creator-owned comic. As we talked about earlier, it's about a serial killer in New Orleans in the 1980s. We are on issue number 6, just wrapped up on Kickstarter. That goes to print in about a week and a half. Issue number 7 will hopefully be going to Kickstarter around probably the end of May, give or take. All the guest cover artists on that are almost completed. And then my next creator-owned comic will be dropping this year also, Cycle the Blood Moon. It'll be a 30-issue book that deals with the 1800s, dealing with pretty much everything that goes bump in the night. Werewolves, vampires, angels, demons, a little bit of everything. So
Hookers, yeah.
Yep.
All the good stuff.
That's right.
Hookers have bumps in the night.
That's right.
Oh, you're gonna have okay. Go ahead, Caesar. Before I say something.
They're gonna have bumps, all right.
Nah, you fucking said it. I'm surprised. Go ahead, go.
So, listen, you guys already know where to find me. Real Dracula's Wolf on Instagram. If you are looking,
You guys got a whole paragraph as his name.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for a voiceover, I've been busy a lot lately. People have been hitting me up to promote their business and their live promo reels. If you want a voiceover or just a reel done, hit me up. Step into my den and let's talk and make some business. That being said, you guys are all great. You guys were fantastic. There we are.
The Real Dracula's Wolf, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Look at that.
There's some of the characters for Cycle of the Blood Moon.
Yeah, we don't see that one. That one we do.
Oh,
see.
that was cool.
That's awesome.
No, I mean, Art's a phenomenal artist. Look at that. I mean, he puts his time into it.
Look at that one.
But yeah, man, what a good show. What a good show. We had a good time.
See, they compare Caesar's name to my name, like it's like 3 letters and that's it, bro. Like I don't go all that. Hey,
Too long.
before I say anything, right? Before it ends, I want to let everybody know there was nobody that was bullied in the comment section today, right? I well knows what I'm talking about. Everything was
I think he learned his lesson the other day. So
I'm too far right in Chattanooga. I mean, that person knows who he is, and I know I'm not gonna say his name, but he's like, if he makes a post about it, I'm gonna get mad. But you better not. I'm telling you right now. It was just jokes, bro. You went too far. You should have never fucking interrupted the other fucking. I was there. I showed it to Caesar. Like this is what happened, and this guy is like, no reason to fucking put his 2 cents in this fucking. I would have got annoyed as fuck. But anyways, everything was a good show today. It was fun, entertaining. I wasn't here the first, hour and a half, but
Gentlemen,
I got to see everything. What the fuck are you drinking, Nick? Moonshine?
Water.
this is water because I'm already drunk, so I need to drink water. before I go to bed.
Oh, I thought it was moonshine. I swear.
I gotta get up early. So
Well, I definitely appreciate you guys having me on the show. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. Honestly, I wish we had more movies to talk about. Because that's one thing. But in July with June, Deadpool comes out, and let's see if it lives up to the hype.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
I'm
for that.
nervous.
Nah,
I'm excited.
Well, I already said next week we'll have Marvel Comics on the show. Talk about Ash Cash, Ash Pay, Ashtray on the
Oshkosh Bagosh.
that one. Oshkosh.
My gosh.
I get my kids' clothes from Oshkosh, bro. But anyways, we're talking about that. See you next week, Wednesday at 8
Asshole
p.m.
Manadines.
Fingers crossed.